You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's good to be back, man. Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. Wonderful people out there, man. My brothers and sisters, my kings and queens, my brethren and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, ladies and lads, and all good things and bonbons and everybody in between. I know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. It sound crazy? Oh, Lord, it sounds crazy. Give me a second. I gotta restart my mic. Hold on.
That's crazy. I done gave that intro, and it was all messed up. Let's see how it sounds now. Let's see how it sounds. Give me a second, chat. Yes, sir. So let's get right back to it, man. My intro is all messed up. We're gonna try it again. What's good, everybody? Yes, sir. We are back. We are back. We are back. Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. My brothers and sisters, mi hermanos, mi hermanas, my brethren and sister, my kings and queens, ladies and lads, and everybody in between, man. We are here. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Hit this quick little roll call, man. I got my boy Oscar Perez, mi hermano, my brother, my partner, my pal, my PIC partner in crime in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So we have a lot of news to talk about, a lot of stuff I have to catch up on.
You know, I've been dropping videos periodically, but, you know, I've just been dealing with some stuff. So still dealing with it until this weekend. Hopefully everything gets settled down. I'm trying to make sure that I could get there for the fights too, man. But we shall see, good Lord willing. Hopefully we make it there. Before we get started, let's always say our prayers as always. So please join me and bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this blessing. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for every moment that we have, every minute that we spend, every hour that we are alive, to not only pursue our goals or chase our goals, but also spend times with our loved ones and not take things for granted. We thank you for your continuous mercies, your forgiveness, and please give us the wisdom to repent when we mess up and repent for our sins, Lord, and just to show our appreciation for your constant and continuous mercies and grace. And we give you all the praise, and we ask that you let us move forward with you in mind, as opposed to what we see or what we perceive or what we feel or anything that sets off our sensibilities, Lord. Let us move forward in faith, and faith is the belief in what's unseen, and that's what's going to get us through not only the day but through our life, and hopefully as we transition to everlasting life. And rest in peace to all our fallen loved ones. We know that we will rendezvous with them in a much better place in the future. And also rest in peace to Val Kilmer, the actor that played Batman, amongst other things. He passed away yesterday, I believe. So our sincerest condolences to his loved ones. And we thank you for your blessings, and we thank you for another day. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. Let's get it. All right, so you know, we're gonna get into some of these topics, man. One of these topics being that we had Janibek, man. You know, Janibek is Alim Kanuli. Janibek Alim Kanuli. He's a champion at 160-pound division. He's a unified champion at 160-pound division, and he's considered to be looked at as the best at 160 pounds middleweight. Which I'm not mad at that, right? I think he's the best at 160, but is he the best so far and beyond to where he should be exploring other fighters like my boy Cinnamon, the face of boxing? Yo, shout out to my boy Oscar Perez, man. Dropping that graffiti on the chat walls, coming through with that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits
Yes, sir. Shout out to my guy Oscar, man. My boy. Matter of fact, no, hold on. That's a dub. He coming through like a boss. Yes, sir, man. Pollo en la cocina, man. Big money in the chat, man. He said, you know what rhymes with this taste? If you don't know, you ever watch the battle rap I said, you hope everything turns out good. Oh yeah, everything's gonna be good, man. I appreciate you. You know what's crazy about that? I didn't finish the battle rap you sent me. I fell asleep after I got through Disaster's first round, because Disaster went first, right? Come on now, see, I ain't cap. And then he ended it with like he called him a puta. He said tiempo puta, like time, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So he told him it's a time, and it was his turn to go. So I ended right at the beginning of Assassino's round. So yeah, I didn't get it, but I know the format is going to be an English round, then a Spanish round, then a bilingual round. So yeah, I fell asleep. I told you I was gonna watch it, but hey, I'm a man of my word. But I didn't finish it though, so you're right. But yeah, man. So Janibek is 160 pounds. Shout out to my boy Oscar, man. Thank you for always supporting, man. Always keeping us going and growing, man. I appreciate it. That's how we get the hustle off the muscle, man. One of the most important members of the chat, man. And he's a member too. You got James Daly in the building from down under. What's good, my brother? But yeah, man. Shout out to Oscar, man. One of the key pieces to this channel, man. Big supporter, man. My brother right there. But yeah, so Janibek Alim Kanuli, man, he's talking crazy like he's not really interested in the 160-pound division. It's like, yeah, he has a fight coming up against Annual Gamisenge. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. He has a fight this weekend. A lot of people has fights this weekend. And you know, he was just like, yeah, man, I could go up to 168 and take on the face of boxing. And all that clapping, all that action right there with the hip gyration and the ba ba ba, yeah, like he's beating on someone's son. That's how Janibek would get handled by Canelo and any other contender at 168. Let's be very clear, man. I like Janibek. I think he's the best at 160. Like I said, I already said that, but he's still, I mean, Laura's still there. Erzlandi Lara. Would I favor Janibek to beat Lara? Of course. But do I know that he'll beat Lara? No, I don't, because Lara is a champion. The only thing that Lara is lacking right now is a youth, because he's older. You know, he's like 40 or something like that. Yeah, I think he's like, is he 40? You know, he might be 42.
Damn.
But other than that, you know, I can't definitively say that he beats Lara. You know, like I said, I think he does. And then Janibek against, who's the other champ? Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames just looked spectacular against Hamza Shiraz. Even though they robbed him with a draw, he looked good. Carlos Adames and Janibek, that's a very good fight. And Carlos Adames has been calling out Janibek. And for Janibek to say that he doesn't want to, that he's not really interested in any of the fighters at 160, I mean, I get it. You know, I'm not going to knock him. Go for the big money, you know, because Canelo is a face of boxing, so he's the biggest revenue generator in boxing, period. But particularly from weight classes 175 to about 154, everybody wants to fight Canelo, right? He's a cash cow with those divisions, just like Gervonta Tank Davis is a cash cow. I'll say from 147 to 130, everybody wants to fight Tank. From 126 to 115, everybody wants to fight Nayenwe. And heavyweight, you always want to fight Anthony Joshua, right? Because those are the cash cows of those divisions. But Canelo Cinnamon is the ultimate cash cow. So I don't blame him from that's the most lucrative option. If you can get Canelo, you get Canelo. But to me, why I think he's capping and why I think it's nonsense and he's just talking is because why wouldn't you go up to 168 already if that was the case? I mean, your last fight against Andre Mikhailovich, it was actually postponed. The first time you were supposed to fight, it got postponed because you were hospitalized. And yes, he was hospitalized. I'm glad he's okay, but you were hospitalized by means that could have been avoided. You know, you were hospitalized because you fainted because you were struggling to make weight. So if you're struggling to make weight to the point where you're suffering, you're jeopardizing your welfare, and you're and you're being hospitalized, then I think that's a clear indication that you don't want to go to 168. Because you're going to every measure to stay at 160 and essentially be a weight bully. That's what weight bullying is. People don't like, in my opinion, people use weight bullying like it's a term that you're cheating. A weight bully is not a cheater. You're usually working in the confines of boxing, so it's not a problem. But if you're going to do it to the point where you're jeopardizing your health, I think that it means that at the end of the day, that
Nigga, you's a bitch!
I think it means that you're a coward. I think that it means that you are only successful. You know this. Your success is predicated off of you being the bigger person, a much bigger person. So when people say, oh, you're a weight bully, they try to make it seem like you can't do that. No, you could do it, but there are consequences to that, and one of them is that if you do it too much, you might hospitalize yourself. So I think Janibek's a weight bully. Devin Haney's a weight bully. David Benavidez is a weight bully. But the thing about Devin Haney is that he's a consummate professional because he always makes weight and then he blows up. You know, David Benavidez has missed weight before, but he's been making weight lately. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to David Benavidez. And Janibek, like I said, he missed weight so bad that he had to get the fight postponed. And I think you should be stripped. If you can't make weight to the point where you're jeopardizing the fight itself, you should be stripped, in my personal opinion. So Janibek I think he's talking crazy. I think he's talking ridiculous. If he was really that confident of being at 168, he would have been there already. And I don't think he beats Caleb Plant. I don't think, forget Canelo, right? I don't think he beats Caleb Plant. I don't think he beats Diego Pacheco. I don't think he beats Christian and Billy. I don't think he beat Osley Zaglazes. I don't think he beats any top contender at 168, especially not a champion in Old Cinnamon. Hell, I don't think he beats William Skull. He might not even beat Edgar Berlanga. That might be a reach, but I think if Edgar Berlanga touches him, he might go night-night. So I don't know, man, but I think it sounds good. You know, it's going to get you in the tabloids. And like I said, if it does get you the Canelo fight, why not? They're talking about Hamza Shiraz getting Canelo. So, you know, and Hamza Shiraz is in the same division as him. So if he can get his way, you know, wiggle his way into a Canelo fight, I'm not mad at it. But as far as him saying that, oh, like I'm the most dominant 160, that I don't have any competition. Yeah, right. That's cap. But speaking of somebody else that's talking crazy, man, shout out to my guy James Daly from Australia. We got to go down under, you know, to our Aussie brethren. And Tim Tszyu, man. Tim Tszyu, I watched the interviews. It was like a 20-minute interview. Good interview. I don't really care for the interviewer. The interviewer, but I like the interviewee, Tim Tszyu. The interviewer, to me, he always tries to, like, I don't know, whatever, you know, shout to him, you know. But I just think sometimes he tries to, like, make the fighters or coerce people to say something, and then try to throw his opinion in there and try to get like a reaction, you know, and then try to come off like he's innocent. One of them, I don't like people that are passive aggressive. You know, you're either aggressive or you're not. You know what I'm saying? You can't be 1 foot on the porch, 1 foot in the street. You pick one, you know. But yeah, so anyway, I watched, it was like a 20-minute interview, and Tszyu was saying that he tried, you know, they revisited his last fight with Bakhram, put on a demolition, right? And he admitted, you know, Tszyu said, hey man, you know, I was going in there kind of recklessly. I thought I was gonna just steamroll Bakhram, you know, and the irony is that he said that he wanted to beat Bakhram Murtazaliev in 3 rounds, and you know, he ended up losing in 3 rounds. You know, that's the crazy part. But I don't think there's really a problem with that. But the part where I think is a problem is the fact that he also said that he wants to put on a demolition against Joey Spencer. And Joey Spencer's his next opponent, the American that he'll be fighting, one time for my American brethren and sister. He'll be fighting Joey Spencer this weekend. And I think that Joey Spencer's a tough fight, but Tszyu should be able to win. He's not only is he the bigger guy, but he's a more he has a bigger profile, more accomplished guy, more experience. So he should win. But coming off, due to the circumstances, coming off of a stoppage loss in the manner in which he did, you know, sometimes it's hard to bounce back when you get brutalized. That's why we're wondering if Devin Haney will bounce back. You know, even though he was cheated, they still like, man, you know, when you get that chin touch like that, we want to see how you come back, because everybody doesn't recover, you know. So we'll see if Tszyu does, is yet to be seen. But the thing that I think that it's good that he says he wants to put on a demolition in Joey Spencer is because he didn't change his mentality. So that's good. So I think that's a good thing. You know, that's the pro that we could take out of that interview that I took. Me personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but for what I took is like, yeah, the good part is that he hasn't changed. He's undeterred. So that means he still has the same mentality. At least he's acting like it. Whether or not, we'll see when he gets in the ring, but at least we know that he's coming forward and approaching boxing the same way. He's not hesitating. He's like, yeah, I want to put on a demolition again. The bad part is that he may not have learned his lesson, right? Because if he goes in there reckless, he could get touched, because Joey Spencer is a big puncher. I'm not saying he's the caliber of puncher of Bakhram Murtazaliev. Obviously, he's not the same physical specimen as Bakhram, but Joey Spencer has some pop in him too. And if he approaches it recklessly again, he could be a victim of his own, you know, of his own ambition, you know, and he could get dropped again. But I will say this though, you know, what I thought was funny in the interview, the interviewer asked him a good question. He asked him about Tszyu, who was in his corner for the first time in his camp for the first time against Bakhram. And it was also funny. I made a video about this, right? And this is no disrespect to anybody in particular, except for the individual that I'm talking about. I don't remember their name. They're inconsequential, but their comment was funny to me. I said in a video that, man, Tszyu has to be careful, because it looks like he's having a family reunion in Orlando as opposed to preparing for a fight. And I said, I don't think that's good. You know, I don't think that it's good that he's with Tszyu, Nikita Tszyu, and himself in Orlando. It looks like they might be having too much fun. You got to remember that your priority should be the fight, you know, not to fraternize with your family. And that's no disrespect to your family, but it is a change. And when you have a change like that, it could mess up things. And I said this, bro, and somebody, it was Australia. Well, they said they're from Australia. They could be lying, but they said, "Oh, shame on you! How can you hate on a family reunion? Well, you don't have family. Or don't you want to be with your family?" And they said, "Oh, I guess you're an animal or something." I don't know. They're being real disrespectful. But you know what's funny about that? That's why God has a sense of humor. You just got to ignore the ignorant people. Tszyu was asked about his father being in his camp, and Tszyu said that it was uncomfortable, because he's a creature of habit. He said that was new and that he wouldn't want to do that again, because when something changes in anything, he's a person that has a routine that he follows, and when something's different in his routine, it throws him off. I'm not saying that he blamed it on Tszyu, but he said the same exact thing that I said. That having his dad there because it was the first time, he doesn't think that was good. He said he's not blaming that on the outcome of the fight, but he said he would change that. He would not do that again because it threw some things off. It just threw his balance off. But when I say that though, it's because I'm hating. But when Tszyu says it, it just shows that I'm just smarter than you, bro. This is what it is, bro. Because that's the thing. When I make boxing assessments, I very seldom make it off of emotion. And if I do, I tell you, I'll be like, hey, man, I like this person just because I like them more. I'm going for this person because I like them more. But if I'm making a boxing assessment, I'm analyzing a lot of things and all the intricate parts that go into a successful camp or a successful a fight. I don't care where they came from. I don't care what country they're repping. I don't care about their skin complexion. I don't care about their religion. I don't care about their sexuality. I don't care about stuff like that. I like boxing because I like the sport. You like it because you like his left testicle. I don't know what it is, but you're a groupie. I can't relate to that, you know. But I know as a former athlete and just anything in life, you know, when you have a routine and you do stuff and you switch it up, it's gonna throw you off. Sometimes it could throw you on and be good, and sometimes it could be bad. If you watch the interviews like I do, you can see Tszyu was a lot of time he was focusing on the fact that his dad was in the camp. He's catching up with his dad. That is awesome. Of course, you want to strengthen your family roots, especially with your father, especially if he's a boxer. He could drop all types of knowledge on you. But if that's new, look at Tank, right? I said the same thing with Tank. Tank, I'm not blaming that struggle with Lamont Roach on Calvin Ford not being there, Coach Calvin, but the fact, or blaming it on Barry Hunter's presence, but the fact that it's a switch up is going to throw your equilibrium off. You hope it does it for the better, but a lot of times it's going to do it for the negative. You're not going to be as sharp because you got to get acclimated with whatever the philosophy the new person is saying, or the timing the new person has, or just the rhythm, or whatever it is. It may seem small and minuscule, but that thing is impactful. You know, and I do believe, I don't think Tszyu was making an excuse. I do believe him because that's what I pointed out, you know. So I just thought it was interesting that he said that, man. Hopefully that goofball was watching, but you know, people aren't mature, you know, they lack accountability. So they wouldn't be like, oh, my bad, Doc, you was right. They would just, you know, double down and be even more dumb. You know, I think it'll be a great classic fight. Predicted the last round TKO 10 for Tszyu. Hey, I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. Shout out to my guy Oscar, man. Passive aggressive, the language of the cowards. Talk to him, man. My boy coming through with the big biscuits, you know what I'm saying, like a boss. El Jefe Oscar coming through like a boss with a 20 piece again, man. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. But that's a 40 piece. Oh, we gonna run that again for you, bro. That's a big boss of the chat right there, man. Y'all put some respect on Oscar's name and like those donations as well, man. Keep them coming. I appreciate that, Oscar. Big salute, man. But yeah, passive aggressiveness is the language of cowards. Facts. Big facts. When you passive aggressive, man, say what you mean and mean what you say, man. I'm not saying that you got to be a brute or be disrespectful. You could say what you mean and be assertive and say it in a respectful manner, you know, and it's all about your presentation and your delivery. You don't have to be an asshole about it, but at the same time, if you're going around the bush and trying to push people into a corner and then act like you're the victim when people recognize it, then yeah, like Oscar just said, there's so many kind words. This is what we think about you around here. We think that you ain't nothing but a
Nigga, you's a bitch.
Yeah. That's what we think about you. We think that you's a bitch. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man. So I just think that there's more good than bad to take away from the Tszyu interview. But like I said, he should be very cautious. And what's crazy too, I watched a little interview, a snippet from Joey Spencer, and Joey Spencer caught wind of what Tszyu was saying, and Joey Spencer was like, "Hold on, didn't he say the same thing about Bakhram? Didn't he say he was going to run through Bakhram?" So we said he thinks that it's a little false bravado, and I don't blame Joey Spencer. Like I said, it's a formidable fight. As a bounce back, and I think Joey Spencer's going to do better than what people think. But as long as Tszyu is focused, I think Tszyu should take the W. But there is some concerning things there, man. You know, it's good that he's having the same energy and the same approach, but it's bad because he could possibly not have learned his lesson. And we'll see. Like Joey Spencer, it's going to be a good fight, you know. Joey Spencer's not going to put you over the top or put you back in title contention or put you back in the upper epsilon at 154 because that's a deep division. But it will remind us that, okay, Tszyu is capable of moving forward and I do and having a good career or get back on track, because I do think that he has the ability to bounce back. But I do think that this is a career defining fight, you know, and hopefully if he loses, then the Bakhram Murtazaliev will be a career defining fight, you know, and that's a low light. You don't want your low light to become your highlight, you know what I'm talking about? So you don't want the memory of you to be you getting tossed around for 3 rounds, you know what I'm saying? That boy Bakhram tossed everything but his salad, you feel me? He tossed everything but his salad.
No diddy.
Hey, yo, you know what I'm talking about? No diddy. So yeah, he got to tighten up. Yo, shout out to my boy Ryan Frazier, big member in the building. He says salute. I salute to you too, man. Salutations, my brother. Absolutely say it with your chest. Don't tweet and delete. You feel me? Joey Spencer, you are not Bakhram. Yeah, he's definitely not Bakhram, but hey, come on, Ryan. We know I know you a boxing aficionado. Sometimes it might take a Bakhram to let us know that everybody else could have a little bit more confidence with stepping in the ring with him, you know. So he's definitely not Bakhram. But, you know, same thing we think about Devin Haney, right? No one thinks Jose Carlos Ramirez can punch like Ryan Garcia. He's not Ryan Garcia. I mean, he might be more skilled than Ryan Garcia, but as far as punching power, I think everybody would lean towards Ryan Garcia. But what are we weary about, right? We're like, hold on, maybe now that chin got cracked, maybe he can't bounce back, you know, which I think he will, but you just never know, right? So just because a high caliber fighter's quote unquote exposed you or revealed the chink in your armor doesn't mean that other fighters can't crack that thing a little more, you know. So that's, I think Joey Spencer is a good enough fighter to where we could make a good assessment on how well Tszyu is going to move forward in the future, you know, or maybe we might see the end of Tszyu if Joey Spencer wins. I do think that this is a career defining moment. I just think he has to get a good win, you know. It has to be a good solid win, in my personal opinion. He doesn't have to get a knockout, doesn't have to get a stoppage, but it shouldn't be a controversial win. But shout out to my boy Oscar, man, dropping the 220 pieces on the chat, man. What's that? Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill, you feel me? But yeah, so I think Tszyu has a tough fight in front of him. But if he does win, I think it won't put him like top. Like I said, it's deep, right? 154 to me is the best division, the hottest division. It has the most parity, the most depth. It doesn't put him super far up there, not top 5 or nothing like that, but it would make me want to possibly see Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz again. Remember, because they were talking about that fight, right? I would like to see, you know, if Tszyu wins, I would like to see him in Murtazaliev. Not Bakhram. I would like to see him in Madrimov, you know. If he wins, I would like to see him in Jesus Ramos. If he wins, I would like to see him in Erickson Lubin, or the winner of Erickson Lubin and Arjuro Holmes. If he wins, I would like to see him in possibly Jermell Charlo, if Jermell Charlo comes back like rumored, you know. So it puts him, it builds the intrigue again if he wins. And if he loses, then, you know, it's hard, you know. It is what it is. Where Haney and Ramirez look like they are both prepared to fight today, and we still a month. Yeah, shout out to them, man. They looking good. Zeus headline 50+ pay-per-views. Fought many opponents on Spencer's level. Spencer fought Ramos, a good prospect last fight, but will he turn up the day headlining in front of this crazy crowd? I mean, I don't think Joey Spencer turning up is an issue, to be honest. I think Joey Spencer, Tszyu has headlined 50 pay-per-views or whatever it was. You know, I don't know how many. I'll take your word for it. But Tszyu has never fought after getting whooped like that, right? That's the same thing. We have the same question with Errol Spence, right? So let's be fair. It's not like this is brand new this is not a brand new assessment made on Tszyu, right? Every fighter that gets brutalized, we have questions, you know. So Tszyu now, his is even it's kind of worse, right? Because let's analyze it, right? Tszyu, he's coming off of 2 consecutive losses, right? Back to back. And the first loss, I understand it. You know, he suffered a hellacious cut that was an inadvertent elbow from Sebastian Fedora to where it impaired his vision, and he was bleeding profusely, so it drained his energy. However, it was still a loss. And you know why I know that impacts him? The same reason why you know, James. Because in his fight against Bakhram, when he got hit on the top of his head, what did he do? He hesitated, paused, stopped, touched his head to make sure everything was good. So that just, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it could be over-exaggerated, but it just shows that he wasn't fully confident that his cut was healed or that he wouldn't suffer another freak accident like that. So it just still has implications on his psyche, and that's not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying, to be aware. But what I'm saying is that if that made him think for a second in the Bakhram fight, imagine what a chin check might make him think if Joey Spencer can touch that chin. It may make him get flashbacks of Bakhram. And, you know, I'm talking, Bakhram sounds scary. You know, I'm talking, people talk about boogeyman. Can you imagine that? You have nightmares of Bakhram? That sounds like somebody you would have nightmares of. Bakhram Murtazaliev. He sounds like a snow monster or something like that. Mount Murtazaliev. The Bakhram's going to get you. You feel me? So if he has nightmares, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? Tszyu is a beast. Like I said, I was very high on Tszyu. I still believe he could bounce back, but I don't think it's unwarranted for people to have their doubts, because Joey Spencer is not a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? The American fighter, he is a formidable fighter. And you brought up Jesus Ramos. Well, that fight against Jesus Ramos, Joey Spencer put up a good fight. He just looked severely undersized. You know what I'm saying? And Jesus Ramos is a big guy too. You know, he could go from 160, 154 seamlessly. But I took some good stuff from Joey Spencer. To me, he's a dog. Now, he's not a top tier fighter. No, you know, like I said, I think that that's why I think this is a good fight, because he's a formidable fighter, but he's not like a top contender. So I think this will let us. Sorry about that. I think my connection just reset, man. My internet just went out. My OBS.
I think we're back, though. We're back. Yo, we got my boy Tech Dumb Dad in the building. Big member in the building. Yes, sir. Good morning, DBT fan. Yes, sir. Good morning, Dr. Boxer Talk. Good morning to you, too, my brother. You know what I'm talking about? I hope everyone is doing well. Yes, sir. It's getting... Oh, you have bad weather out there, man. Y'all be safe out there in Oklahoma. MAW, what's good, brother? He said, yes, sir. Smash that. Yes, please smack that like button. You feel me? So, yeah. So, definitely, I'm with you, James. I don't think that... I definitely think that we should favor Tszyu, but, you know... It's a little fight. It's a fight to approach cautiously, is what I'm saying. Joe only been 3-time, 10-round fights, while Tszyu 24-2. Yeah, and been in there 19 times. Yep, both lost via stoppage, but Tim took more damage. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing you got to understand. Joey Spencer wasn't the favorite against Jesus Ramos. At least, correct me if I'm wrong. At least if my memory serves me correctly, he wasn't the favorite. Tszyu is usually the favorite, so it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying that it makes it any better. A loss is a loss, but it's a little more devastating when you believe that you're the favorite and the world believes you're the favorite, and then you get beat up like you weren't even supposed to be in the same ring as the person you just fought. You know, and that's what it looked like with Bakhram. So, you know, there is a lot of concern there, but I do believe Tszyu will win. But we shall see, man. It's not a given, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You don't want it to be a given, right? You should be when I say these things. I'm not saying everybody has to agree, but you should want Joey Spencer to be considered a good fighter, especially if you're a Tszyu fan. So if Tszyu does look good, then you could hang your hat on and be like, hey man, you know, I've got confidence in my guy Tszyu because he just fought a guy who's formidable in Joey Spencer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this to down Tszyu. I mean, if you know my channel, you know, I thought Bakhram Murtazaliev was going to be a good fight. I was wrong. I thought Tszyu was going to win by UD. I was definitely wrong. Yeah, man, that was probably one of my worst predictions in the since I've been doing my channel. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I had a UD win for Tszyu against Bakhram. That was probably one of my worst predictions since I've been doing my channel. Bakhram went in there and mollywopped him. Oh my goodness. He hit Tszyu and said,
Nigga, you's a bitch.
Hey, that joke was crazy, bro. That joke was crazy. It's all over for Tszyu if he loses, but wouldn't be concerned with that. He wants to fight quality. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. But I mean, you know, I don't want to say it's all over. I think he could still be a domestic guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Zarafa. I think even with a loss, he could still get the Michael Zarafa fight, especially if Zarafa loses too. But I don't know, man. You know, we'll see. Yeah, it's not like he's fighting Mantequilla. Yeah, right. Exactly. He's not fighting like a Mantequilla like Edgar Berlanga just fought. He's not fighting what's that guy that Richard Torres Jr. fought? The guy that looked like Kid Buu, not Kid Buu, Fat Buu. Yeah, he's fighting a guy that, you know, has a little bit of following, is pretty known. So that's a good thing. You know, he's not fighting a scrub. So big opportunities for Spencer to get bump up in the rankings, but I'm expecting Tim to get the dub. Yeah, me too. That would be nice if Joey. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at Joey Spencer. I like Joey Spencer too. You know, I'm a little more acclimated and familiar with Tszyu and his style, but Joey Spencer I've seen fight 2 or maybe 3 times, and he's an exciting fighter to watch. You know, but yeah, I definitely think that they both have a lot to gain and a lot to lose. I would say Tszyu has a little more to lose because he's the one that's expected to win. But Joey Spencer loses too. That's not a good thing because then that'll set him back as well. Not as far back as Tszyu, but you know, then he'll lose to a guy that's come off of 2 losses. You know, so it is something. So, but yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on to I want to go on to Norman Jr., bro. Brian Norman Jr., you know. Shout out to Brian Norman Jr., man. He looked spectacular against Derek Cuevas, who was ranked number 13, if I'm not mistaken. 13 or 14? 13 in the WBO at the time that he fought him. And I thought it was a good win, man. He looked spectacular. A lot of people weren't really too happy about the Derek Cuevas fight, but I'm like, that's because people are ridiculous. They're goofy, and they're just overall dumb. It's like, bro, like you want... Brian Norman is 24 years old. He's a young bull. He won his belt as an interim title holder, just like everybody else at 147 because Terence Crawford was undisputed. That's how it works, right? People get elevated once the guy that's the guy leaves, right? And departs for the division. Brian Norman fought Giovanni Santillan in Giovanni's hometown of San Diego. He went in there as an underdog and he demolished Giovanni Santillan, right?
But my point in saying that is he was a severe underdog. What's indicative of him being an underdog is the fact that he fought in San Diego because of Giovanni Santillan's hometown. You know, it's his crib, which is cool, right? But the fact that people are mad about him fighting Derek Cuevas is because they selfishly want Brian Norman to go into unification immediately, which I think is dumb. You don't really see. I'm not saying that you can't do that. That I would be intrigued to that. Of course, I want to see Brian Norman fight Barrios or Stanionis and primarily Boots, right? But at the same time, why are we rushing these fighters? Brian Norman, we talking about Tszyu and Joey Spencer only having 3 10-round fights. Brian Norman only had 3 10-round fights, and that was his first 12-rounder. That was scheduled for 12 rounds against Giovanni Santillan. Let the man go through the natural progression of development. You know what I'm saying? So he had his first defense, voluntary defense, against Derek Cuevas, a guy that's ranked number 13. What's wrong with that? His first defense, you want it to be a unification. So if he loses, you could just throw him away and toss him out the room and act like he was trash, like he was just a flash in the pan. You see what I'm saying? That's how we do. We want fighters to go through these tough fights, and then as soon as they lose, we just throw them out. You know what I'm saying? First, we call them trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
And then if we don't call them trash, we just toss them out the house. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I think that was appropriate for him to get a first defense against a number 13 guy, and that was a great win. Derek Cuevas looked very sharp in the first round. He looked athletic, and he looked very refined. But then when Brian Norman touched him up and put that power on him, it was different. Derek Cuevas seemed like he had things to reconsider. You know, he had a self he did a reevaluation on himself in the middle of the fight after he got hit, man. And Brian Norman, he just looked good, but I thought it was a great win for him. It was only 3 rounds, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he recently had hand surgery and stuff like that. According to him, which I think he's exaggerating a tad bit, but according to him, he's been slapping this whole time he's been fighting because his hands have been messed up. But he's finally committed to the surgery, and now he can commit to his punches, you know? And he said that that's where his power, he's been lacking. So now he has even more power, even more confidence. But I will say this, though. What I don't like, that's all the stuff I like now. I think Brian Norman's a good fighter. And like I say, he's a young fighter. But what I don't like is the fact that he was entertaining Jin Sasaki. I love the fact that Jin Sasaki called him out. I thought it was dope, man. He wrote a letter to him. You can tell he put some thought into it, and it seemed respectful. You know what I'm saying? Jin Sasaki, for those of you who are familiar, he's a top contender in the 147-pound welterweight division from Japan. He's been on a mean streak. He only has 1 loss. I don't remember how many wins he has, but he only has 1 loss, and that 1 loss came to Andy Hiroka, who's a Ghanaian Japanese fighter at 140. His most notable fight is beating Old Man Barroso, Ishmael Barroso. You feel me? MAW. So yeah. So I think that's not a bad loss, is what I'm saying. But Jin Sasaki's been on like an 8-9 fight win streak, right? And he wants a title shot. He deserves a title shot. Should Brian Norman entertain the title shot? I think he should. You know, going to Japan and spreading, because the fight, they said they would like for it to be in Japan. So then you could increase your profile and raise your stardom, right? If you, especially going internationally, right? You expose yourself to a whole nother audience, and that's always a good thing. If you could win. Jin Sasaki's a high-powered offensive fighter, but his defense is very questionable, shaky at best, right? His defense is terrible, but he's a high volume offensive power. I would say juggernaut. That's a little exaggeration, but he's an offensive. His fighting style is predicated off his offense. Let's just say like that to be nice. So he's a good puncher, but he gets hit a lot. I don't really see him beating any of the title holders at 147, but he deserves his title shot to prove it, right? I wouldn't mind Brian Norman going over there fighting him, but the part I don't like is the fact that Brian Norman, if you remember, you know, like I said, I watched a whole lot of interviews. Brian Norman Jr., primarily Brian Norman Sr., more so than Jr. Brian Norman Sr., who's Brian Norman Jr.'s father, he said emphatically and repeatedly that if Boots beats Stanionis and he doesn't fight Brian Norman next, he's ducking him. He even went as far as to call him the B word. You know what I'm talking about? He said that's a bitch move if he doesn't fight Brian Norman next. If he beats in the scenario in which he beats Stanionis. And that's cool if that's how he feels. But you got to commit to that. You can't say that, oh, if Jerron Boots Ennis fights Teofimo Lopez, because that's the individual that he was specifically talking about. If Boots fights Teofimo Lopez, which would be a big money fight, that Boots is somehow a coward because he doesn't fight Brian Norman next. But then Brian Norman is now entertaining going to Japan. I just watched an interview with Brian Norman Sr. after the fight, and he said that he wants to go to Japan. He wants to entertain that fight because it's intriguing, and it is. But if you call Boots a bitch for not fighting you next, hypothetically, in the scenario in which he beats Stanionis, then what does that make you? If you go fight Jin Sasaki, So that's why sometimes you just got to be careful, man. You just got to try to be respectful and just be careful, because your own words will bite you in your behind. And not to mention that I was already defending Brian Norman Jr. for not fighting the unification, and defending Brian Norman Sr. for not accepting the money to fight Boots if he didn't feel like he was getting a fair shake. But now you're saying that, oh, Boots is such and such and such for not fighting you. And then you're going to turn around and pull the same move and entertain fighting somebody else. And you don't even know the outcome of the Boots and Stanionis fight yet. So your words come back to bite you. So it's just, that's why sometimes you just got to be careful. I don't think Boots is ducking if he takes another fight that's not Brian Norman after Stanionis. If he wins, first of all, don't overlook Eimantas Stanionis, the Lithuanian champion. He's a good fighter too. I think that's going to be a good fighter. I mean, a good fight between him and Boots, you know, the American fighter. I do think Boots is going to win, but I think it's going to be a good fight. I think Stanionis is a serious contender, and he has a lot to fight for, and he's tough. But stylistically, I lean towards Boots. So it's not a given that he wins. But let's say, hypothetically, just for this argument, if Boots wins and Boots goes to fight Teofimo Lopez, if Teofimo Lopez beats Arnold Barbosa or something like that, or more lucrative deal, what's wrong with that? I don't think he's ducking Brian Norman, and I don't think Brian Norman is ducking Boots if he entertains Jin Sasaki, because you got to think about your career and the longevity, and not just what's best for you in the next step, but what about the next 10 steps? So I don't think he's a coward at all. However, I will say this: if you don't fight Boots, and I hear that Boots offered you a contract that's a decent amount, you know what I'm saying, a fair shake, and you don't fight him, based off what you just said, I have to say this about Brian Norman: if you don't fight Boots,
Nigga, you's a bitch.
because that's what you just laid down for us. You said that. So by your own standards, I have to call you that, because that's what you said about Boots. That's why sometimes you should just be careful. Even if you're a loquacious brother, just be quiet sometimes. It's okay. You don't, even on the internet, bro, you don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. That's why the show was called Kids Say the Darnest Things, not adults, because it's cute when kids speak in an unfiltered manner. Maybe even when you're old and senile, maybe you might, you know what I'm saying, go back to your kid self, and it might be cute when an old person does that. But if you're a grown adult that's mature and has all your sensibilities, sometimes you should just slow down, little buddy, because now you painted it yourself. Because I do watch a lot of interviews, and I'm going to hold that against you, because I feel like I have to. Because you went out your way to say that if Boots doesn't fight you next, he's a bitch. So if you don't fight Boots next, what does that make you? By your own standards. You said it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said, you just got to be careful, man. You just got to be careful what you say. Shout out to MAW. He says Sasaki doing what he's supposed to be doing. Chase a little fight. Yep. A title fight, yep. Just gives B Norman an option. Maybe Top Rank should be more invested. Yeah, man, I like Jin Sasaki, man. I've been watching Jin Sasaki for a little minute now. He's been on a nice little streak, man. I made a video about Jin Sasaki. Didn't get that many views because Jin Sasaki's not a high-profile fighter. But yeah, you know, I made a video about Jin Sasaki a couple months ago, and I was talking about how he deserves a title shot. He's on like an 8-fight win streak, and I made it around the time when they made Conor Benn. When Conor Benn came back from suspension, all of a sudden he was ranked number 1 or 2 in at 147. You know what I'm saying, fresh off suspension, and that's why I made a video about Jin Sasaki. I'm like, if anybody should be ranked high, it should be Jin Sasaki. He's been defending the hell out of his regional belt. You know what I'm saying? He's on like an 8-fight, 9-fight win streak. So let's keep it going. He said if Norman Jr. goes to Japan, as long as he keeps it clean, he probably gonna get Japan backing with him like he Japanese if he beats Sasaki. Yeah, I think that's a great move. But according to his own standards, what his pop said, then you got to be you know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is, man. He said Plant is a bum. That's crazy. Boots wanted to fight, but Norman's wanted more money. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting paid what you're worth. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think people that don't have much and don't earn much, and they're insecure with themselves, like a lot of boxing fans are. They try to tell people to do things that doesn't benefit them. But you know what I'm saying, doesn't benefit the fighter, but it benefits them personally for their view and pleasure. It's like, bro, this is a business, and everybody in any walk of life, whether you're a medical doctor, a doctor of engineering like myself, or you're a janitor, or you're a CEO, or you're a professor, whatever it is, an athlete, whatever, a musician, you should always get what you deserve. If you feel like you deserve a pay point, then they should make that pay point. When you're working your job, don't you? Well, if you're in a position to do so, you know, if you have a degree, most likely you're able to negotiate your salary or go seek other options. What's wrong with fighters doing the same thing? But we don't like to think logically, because that doesn't get the clicks, right? The irrational thinking, the impulsive thinking and speaking like you're mad all the time is the one that gets the most, you know, most clicks and stuff. I need to see Jin versus Norman and Hiroka. Ooh, I like, hey, Jitterbug, I love that. He said, Jitterbug says, I need to see Jin versus Norman. Fire. Jin Sasaki versus Norman Jr. That's a great fight. Andy Hiroko versus Gary Antoine Russell. Fire. Yeah, I love that. Because and to be fair, Andy Hiroko was calling out Rayo Valenzuela. Why that's important is the fact that Andy Hiroko was calling out Rayo Valenzuela because Rayo Valenzuela was the belt holder. Now Gary Antoine Russell beat Jose Rayo Valenzuela, aka the Lightning. So now Andy Hiroko, if he's really about that life, should in turn be calling out Gary Antoine Russell, right? So those are great fights. I don't know if it happens, but those are great fights. Brian Norman Sr. sounded a little ducky, bro. Bro, B-Dog, and you know I had his back. As far as and I still do. Like I said, I want to be very clear. I think him going to fight Jin Sasaki next is the boss move. That's a great move. You want to raise your profile, especially if you could do so internationally. However, if you're going to make a proclamation that somebody else is a coward for not fighting you next, and they're also going to fight a more lucrative deal in Teofimo Lopez, if you can't understand Boots fighting Teofimo, then how could I convince anybody to understand Brian Norman fighting Jin Sasaki? Especially when you go out your way to make it seem like, oh, if Boots doesn't fight you next, then he's ducking you. Well, then if you don't fight Boots next, then you're also ducking too. Yes, sir. So, how did Rayo fight Gary Antoine Russell involuntary, but not put on a rematch clause as a champ? Man, MAW, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm so you know me, man. I like to give everybody a fair shake when it comes to promotion. I don't like it. There's some fighters I like more than others. Some promotions I like more than others. But I like to give everybody a fair shake. I think PBC gets a lot of unwarranted hate and unfair criticism. When a lot of promotions go through the same things as far as gaining and losing fighters, gaining and losing broadcasting deals, gaining and losing fight dates. I think that people exaggerate the impact of these things when it comes to PBC in particular. If PBC just lost their broadcasting deal with ESPN like Top Rank did, they would say PBC's dying. They've been saying PBC's dying for the last 2 decades and it's still alive. I don't know if they're dying or they're thriving. I can't tell because I'm not in control of their books. I'm not at the negotiation table. So I just don't pretend like I know the demise is imminent. Nor do I know how great they're doing either. But a lot of people try to pretend based off optics and observations. Well, you can make the same optics. The same optics are displayed when you look at other promotional companies too, and you can make the same observations of other promotions too. But when you're looking at stuff with hater goggles on, your perception is going to be what you perceive is going to be deceptive. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be deceived by the hate. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say that PBC, they did Rayo dirty. That's what I said all that to say that I think that that's a fair criticism, and I'm not sure it belongs on Valenzuela. I think that criticism belongs on PBC. I don't know why. Could it be so? Rayo broke up with. I said it like they're in a relationship, broke up. Rayo and Jose Benavidez Sr. They split, right? And what was the? I know everybody doesn't know this. So like I said, I know I watch a lot of interviews and stuff. That's my job. I love it, and that's what I do. But those you may or may not know, Jose Benavidez Sr. said, hey, I'm the one that got Rayo a PBC deal. That was me. I facilitated that. He got that off the strength of me and my relationship with Al Heyman and the rest of PBC. You know what I'm saying? Now that they separated, maybe him not getting a fair shake or a rematch clause or people looking out for the benefit of him or his well-being has to do with them subtly siding with Jose Benavidez Sr. And what am I saying? Why am I making that? This is just a guess, right? I'm speculating now. There's nothing for sure. But the reason why I'm speculating this is because who is PBC's biggest fighter outside of Tank? I think it might not definitively be David Benavidez, but he'd be close, right? So they don't want to lose him. You feel me? Like nobody wants to lose their top fighters. You know what I'm saying? Golden Boy doesn't want to lose Jaime Munguia, which they lost to Top Rank. We're not going to talk about that though. They don't want to lose Canelo, which they lost to PBC, but we ain't going to talk about that though. Because then people will say that Golden Boy's dying, right? Yeah, sure. But anyway, they don't want to lose Virgil Ortiz. They don't want to lose Ryan Garcia, Golden Boy, you know what I'm saying? Even through cheating allegations. Top Rank doesn't want to lose whoever their top guys are, you know what I'm saying? They might lose Teofimo Lopez. They don't want to put up with his shenanigans, but they don't want to lose him. They didn't want to lose Shakur. They don't want to lose Lomachenko. They don't want to lose Beterbiev. And same with Matchroom. They don't want to lose. Hell, he didn't even want to lose Edgar Berlanga. but you know, you're not going to bend over backwards to accommodate some people that if they're not pulling their own weight. But you don't want to lose the stars, right? Batroop definitely doesn't want to lose Anthony Joshua. So my point is saying that is that I don't know, but I think that soured relationship between Rayo and Jose Benavidez had something to do with him not getting a rematch clause as a champion, and I think that that's not fair. You know, so I think that that's a fair criticism of PBC, unlike the other criticisms that are I think are kind of unfair. But yeah, I think he should have got a rematch. I don't understand. I can't answer that question. I don't understand. I can only speculate. He said Plant's a bum. That's wild, and nobody ducking Andre anymore. Oh, you entertaining that, Technum Dad? Good for you. I'm not even entertaining that. Some things I don't, you know, I ain't got time. How did Rayo fight Gary Anton Russell the voluntary, but not put on a rematch clause? Yeah, that was crazy. Watch the Robert Garcia interview. It makes so much sense when you step back and look at the PBC structure. He said, "Don't." Oh, with the no rematch clause. Yeah, I mean, let's be real, right? There are some fighters that people that the promotional companies deem as more advantageous for them to be a champion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the sanctioning bodies do the same thing, right? So when you're a high profile fighter, I mean, this is the world, you know what I'm saying? You do get afforded more opportunities, whether that's a PBC thing or a Golden Boy thing or a Top Rank thing or a Matchroom thing or a Queensberry thing or a Boxer thing. That's just a thing in life. You know, when you're more popular, you get afforded more opportunities. When you're in the NBA and you're LeBron James, you better believe that more teams want you on their team than if you're Jeff Teague, who's younger than LeBron and he's not in the league right now. You think he's not in the league because he doesn't want to be? No, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just life, man. So, yeah, I definitely think that they want Gary Anton Russell to be a champion more than they want Rayo. But I also think that has something to do with the other stuff as well, you know. But we'll see, you know, or maybe it had something else to do with it too. You just never know, man. You just never know these things. You know, I can only go off of what people say in the interviews, and they're usually speaking from their own perspective, right? So you got to try to hear what they say, assume that they're honest, and try to get what you can get, extract what information you can from these interviews, you know. So, but yeah, I hope Rayo can bounce back. It's gonna be tougher, right? Because that's his third loss, I think. He lost to Edward De Los Santos by stoppage. He lost to Chris Colbert that he avenged, Lil B-Hop, and then now he lost to Gary Anton Russell. He got slaughtered he got washed by Gary Anton Russell as well too. So it's gonna be harder for him to bounce back. But yeah, I like Rayo, man. I always liked him. So we'll see how it goes. So next up, I want to talk about what we just talked about. Brian Norman Jr. Let's talk about Plant, man. Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo, man. They're supposed to share the next card on May 31st, I believe it is. Plant will be fighting Resendez and Charlo will be fighting Thomas Cornflake Lamana. I think those are great fights. Not great fights as far as who they're fighting, but number one, Jamal Charlo will be bouncing back off of his hiatus. So that's a good fight against Thomas Cornflake Lamana. You can't overlook him. And then Caleb Plant, he just came out of a fight with Trevor McCumbee, and I think him getting another guy will put him in a position to solidify his position to where he's at as an interim champion. And then we could potentially get, you know, when two fighters share a card and they already have some background history, right, with the slap, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to slap the like button, like Caleb Plant slapped Jamal Charlo, but they have some history, right? If Jamal Charlo could look good and he could stay focused, you know, with his mental health and everything, we could get a Caleb Sweet Hands Plant versus Jamal Charlo fight in the future. This is perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to share the card, and if they both look spectacular, it'll build the intrigue even further beyond the slap, and then we could hopefully get that fight in the future. So that's why I think this is a good card, and it's going to be free. So people just like to complain about anything, man. I think it's another good fight, and it has some opportunities to build a Charlo versus Plant fight. Hopefully it's not pay-per-view, but it could potentially even be pay-per-view, which is not a good thing for the consumer because we'll be paying more money, but it'll be a good thing for boxing as far as this could be another main event. And Caleb Plant's also a PBC fighter who's another guy that we want to look forward, that we want to look out for to see him fight more. You know what I'm saying? Same with Charlo. So I think that this would be a great fight and it'll be a great card. We'll see on May 31st. So I think that hopefully Charlo looks good. No disrespect to Thomas Lamana. And hopefully Caleb Plant looks good. No disrespect to Resendez. But the fact that they're fighting on the same card is going to build momentum for them to fight each other on a whole nother card as a main event. I think that's fire. I don't see what the problem is with that. Yes, sir. He said, life is not about merits. It's about results. Talk to him, Oscar, my boy. Hold on now, chat. Everybody face the pews. Face forward to the pew. I have a feeling Reverend Oscar Perez is about to preach. Hold on. Let me get you right. He said, life is not about merits. It's about results.
Yeah.
He said, the promoter and the sanctioning body look at you as, can you pay the bills?
Yeah.
Put ass in the seats.
Yeah.
Then we cool with you and you can be a champ.
Yeah.
All facts. All facts. You know what I'm saying? It's a business, man. It's a business, man. So, you know, of course, we want everything to be based on merit. And hopefully those things align, you know what I'm saying? That's what we talk about, legacy and prize, right? Prize fighter and a legacy fighter. A lot of times those things can combine, but it takes time, you know what I'm saying? Look how long Floyd Mayweather was Pretty Boy Floyd before he turned into Money Mayweather. His legacy and the money fights aligned, you know, but it took him a while to do that, right? He had to go through Oscar, Castillo, rest in peace, Diego Corrales. He had to fight these guys, and then he got the money fights, you know, with Sugar Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, and the other legendary fighters that he shared the ring with and beat and conquered, right? So you just gotta take these baby steps. But a lot of fighters and a lot of fans, who I blame more than the fighters, a lot of fans don't want to give the fighters opportunity to be these great things. You know, like, bro, if Canelo was American, Canelo would not be the face of boxing because he has 2 losses. I really think that American boxing fan base, not everybody individually, not myself, not Tech, and not, you know, saying not responsible, what I consider responsible, real boxing fans, they don't feel like this. But a lot of the boxing fans, they want you to be undefeated, and they blame Floyd Mayweather. No, Mayweather's not, though. He was just undefeated. He didn't try to keep his O intact by moving along in a shaky fashion. No, he fought people and he beat them. He was undefeated because he fought other Hall of Famers and other champions and he beat them, not because he was ducking or hiding behind hiding from any other fights. He just was that dude, you know, and we enjoyed that part about him. But the fact is that the American fan base, a lot of time, boxing fans period, but mostly the American fan base, they're just intrigued by the social media aspect or the highlight aspect or the undefeated aspect. It's like, no, bro, once a fighter loses, give him opportunity to try to bounce back. Like, I still like Jaime Munguia. He just got his face beat in his last fight. I'm still looking forward to seeing Tszyu bounce back. He got his face beat in. I still want to see Errol Spence, if he can bounce back, if he's safe, if he could compete at a high in a safe fashion. I want to see Errol Spence bounce back. I don't throw him away just because he got brutalized one time by a guy who's considered an all-time great in Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo, I think that Canelo should have another loss. I think Canelo lost to Erislandy Lara. He's still one of my favorite fighters. My favorite fighter right now. I don't care about, like, of course I don't want my favorite fighter to lose, you feel me? But if you lose, then the right person should win. Both fighters are punching on each other and are throwing punches and getting punched on. So Canelo's my favorite fighter right now. I like Tank, even though Tank had a tough fight against Lamont Roach. I'm not gonna not like Tank. You know, if Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue, Junto Nakatani is one of my favorite fighters again. If he fights Naoya Inoue and loses, I'm still gonna like Junto Nakatani. Caleb Plant's one of my favorite fighters as well. He's not undefeated. You know, so I don't know, man. But let's keep it going, man. So yeah, Plant versus Charlo would be a good fight. Now I want to talk about this too, man, before we get into the weekend fights. Speaking of great fighters, right? We got the GOAT, we got the GOAT, we got the legend, and we got the face of boxing, right? Let's talk about the legend, man. You think Haney can bounce back? I do. Styles, my guy, Styles in the building. He said, do I think Haney can bounce back? When you say bounce back, it depends on what you mean by that. Do I think he can bounce back and be the American dream? I'm hoping he can. Do I think he can? I don't think so, man. I have my doubts. You know, I don't like saying that out loud because, like I said, there's a lot of goofy boxing fans out there, and they think that people, even though we agree, our methods to get to that destination is not the same, and I think that's important. I think Devin Haney got cheated. I think that every fighter that has PEDs in their system should be considered a cheat, and there should be no excuses made for them, especially when they test positive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the ones that just have the accusations. I'm not just talking about the ones that people think that they're cheating, or, you know, I'm talking about the ones that definitively failed the test and they didn't even appeal it because they're guilty, bitch. So I don't hold that against Devin Haney. I put money on Ryan Garcia. I thought Ryan Garcia would beat Devin Haney because I think stylistically that's a bad matchup for Devin Haney. Because if you look at Devin Haney's career, no disrespect to Devin Haney, he's the youngest undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put respect on it. But I always felt like Devin Haney was put on strategically as far as the path that he took to the fighters that he beat. When he beat Lomachenko, that's a great fight. I personally thought Lomachenko edged it out. Do I think it was a robbery? Hell no. It could have went either way. I had a couple swing rounds in that fight. Devin Haney winning, it's not a robbery. There's no robbery in that fight. It was a close fight. Could have went either way. That's a great win for Devin Haney. Devin Haney beating Kambosos, that's a good win. 2 good wins. You know what I'm saying? Because he beat him twice, right? Devin Haney's a good fighter. I've always had my doubts with Devin Haney because I felt like he was always matched up strategically. And what I mean by that, he was always fighting a guy that was older than him, always fighting a guy that was smaller than him, always fighting a guy that didn't have too much pop, and always fighting a guy that, you know, I wouldn't say outmatched, because that's not fair, but I would say always fighting a guy where he had a obvious, distinct physical advantage. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm just saying that's how I assessed it. Even with Regis Prograis, when he moved up to 140, you moved up and to fight a bigger guy, and you look like the bigger guy. Like, how you move up to fight a bigger guy? You the bigger guy, right? You saw the fight. So that's why I've always, when he fought Ryan Garcia, I was like, man, Ryan Garcia is just the same age, just as young as he is, just as big as he is, and stronger than him. You know, or, you know, yeah, stronger than him and just as athletic. So I thought it was going to pose an issue. So I put money on Ryan Garcia. However, when someone cheats somebody, I don't care if you're boxing, I don't care if you're running track, I don't care if you're playing baseball. Cheating means something. PEDs enhance your performance. Performance enhancing drugs. They're drugs that enhance your performance. It's in the name. So people that are acting like Austrian means nothing because you like Ryan Garcia so much or you dislike Devin Haney so much, I think you're full of shit. And I think that you're just a trash. You're just a goofball. You're a trash human being and a goofball. PEDs always matters. Now, I say all that to answer your question, Styles. If you're saying can he bounce back and beat people, like I think he's going to bounce back and beat Jose Carlos Ramirez, yes. Do I think he beats Ryan Garcia in a rematch? I don't. The only reason why I think that he could beat him is because if he's a better boxer than him, he can outbox him, you know, if he approaches it strategically. But I think Ryan Garcia, he is what he is. He's not the most technically sound boxer, but he does have power and he's gonna be relentless. Same thing he was against Tank. He was throwing that left hook like crazy until Tank stopped him. I don't think Devin Haney could stop him from doing that. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't put money on Ryan Garcia because I knew he was going to be on PEDs. I was judging that from what I've seen before. I think that that's just going to be a bad matchup for him stylistically. Now, I don't know how long Ryan Garcia has been on PEDs. When somebody pops dirty for PEDs, I assume that they've always been on it. They just got caught. So if Ryan Garcia looks terrible against Rolly Romero, I mean, obviously if he loses, but I'm saying like if he looks like tired and he seems like he's not like he's missing something, like he's lacking the benefits of PEDs, then I think Devin Haney has a chance. And if Devin Haney looks good, it has to be a combination of things, and his mental's not messed up, then yeah, I think he has a chance to beat him. I don't think Ryan Garcia is a wash. No, but I thought, like I said, I was confident enough to put money on Ryan Garcia, and not too many people did. But so when you say can he bounce back, all things even, if Ryan Garcia could come back and look like he was looking before the Devin Haney fight, like against Tank, I don't think Devin Haney could deal with that. If you watch that fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank had to evade a lot of, you know, he had to use his boxing skills and he had to do a lot of timing things. I don't think Devin Haney really demonstrates that. Doesn't mean he's incapable of it, but I've never really seen him demonstrate that. So if you're saying can he bounce back in that form to be a top guy, I don't know. I hope so. I'm hoping that he wins because I don't rock with Ryan Garcia at all. But will he? I don't know, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. Shout out to my guy Clone, man. Coming through, dropping that hello yellow on a fellow with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Yes, sir. My boy Close says, hey, man, we need a damn stream schedule. You just turn on your live on willy-nilly, started your stream at 8:27. I got Haiti beating Ridey H without PEDs. He will be exposed by Rolly. Yeah, I'm definitely going for Rollies, man. I hope Rollies drop a bomb on him, but I don't know, man. I hope Rolly come in there and drop a bomb on him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Clone, man. I appreciate that, man, with the graffiti on the chat wall. Shout out to Oscar, shout out to Clone, man, showing the love, man. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I just think that so to answer Styles' question, I think Devin Haney can bounce back, but it depends on what you mean. Like, if do I think, like, you know me, man, I'm a Tank guy. I think Tank beats. I like Devin Haney too. I liked Ryan Garcia too. So Ryan Garcia cheated and was saying all the racist stuff that he been saying and the hateful stuff that he said about blacks and Muslims and stuff like that. I don't rock with that, but I do think that I liked Ryan Garcia before because I thought that he was a guy that was willing to fight everybody. I didn't know he was a guy that was strapped with PEDs. But I always thought that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney was a good matchup. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, so I think Devin Haney can bounce back. But do I think that Devin Haney? I feel even more confident that he can't beat Tank or Shakur now. But I still think that Devin Haney and Teofimo would be a good fight. So if you're saying bounce back to contention like that, yeah, you know, I think he can. But as far as being, you know, a lot of people thought that Devin Haney was better than Tank. That was a good argument, right? Or Devin Haney was better than Teofimo, or Devin Haney was better than Shakur. I think that's a little bit of a more difficult argument to make now, but that's natural. Whenever you get, you know, brutalized like that, it's going to be natural. But like I said, I'm gonna take it upon myself to make sure that nobody forgets that you cannot take out that performance without you cannot consider that performance without considering the performance enhancing drugs. You cannot separate the two. But at the same time too, I mean, I am human, and I do assume that once you get caught cheating, that you cheated with everybody. So, you know, I think Ryan Garcia was probably cheating against Tank too, but Tank still, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's not nothing to disregard. Give me a second, chat. My aunt called. I got a phone call real quick. I gotta call my aunt back. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Let me run this ad for y'all real quick.
Yo, Doc here from your favorite boxing channel, Dr. Boxing Talk. And I want to officially welcome you as a member to the Boxing Talk family, aka BTF. So I want to thank you. Your support is greatly appreciated, and this channel is nothing without you. So what do you get? Well, there's a multitude of perks that you get access to, like special member shoutouts when you enter the chat, and some other additional alerts. Not to mention these fire emojis. Get access to emojis like the GOAT, the GOAT, the face of boxing, the legend, the Ayo, and the no diddy. Not to mention, you know, the GTD chain. You got to bring them out, and it wouldn't be the same if we forgot about these biscuits. And so many more. Not to mention, if you subscribe to some of the highest tier levels, you get to do things like pick the topic of discussion, and you get to have your very own emote. Yes, your ugly mug will be featured on the channel by yours truly. It's just another way for me to give back to my most loyal supporters. And of course, there's even more additional perks than that. But most importantly, you'll get the satisfaction of knowing you're a key, essential, imperative part to keep us going and growing. You know, we get the hustle off the muscle. So it's important that we rock together, you know? And remember, God is good all the time, and God is good. And you know that we prioritize facts over feelings, so that's why you rock with us. So big salute from Dr. Boxing Talk, and yeah, can't wait to see you in the next stream. Thank you for the support.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
All right, my bad, y'all. I'm back. Sorry about that. He said I got Ryan sleeping Rolly in 6. Yeah, I think Rolly's gonna lose, man. I'm rooting for Rolly though. I'm rooting for Rolly, man. Yeah. Garcia might look skinny next fight. Hey, we gonna see. Yes, sir. Hey, yeah, but Chloe, you know I'm dealing with the funeral arrangements and stuff like that, man. You know, I know. Yeah, I've been dealing with that. You know, my grandma passing away, so we got to do the funeral relation, primarily me and my mom. So, you know, my aunts are helping out too, but I'm getting everybody together, making the program, everything, bro. So I don't have enough time, like a block of time to put out for the lives, fool. Now, if you was around the stream, you'd know that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking trash. But appreciate the love. Yo, shout out to my boy Oscar dropping that hello yellow on a fellow with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Talking trash. Man, Clone out here talking trash. Shout out to my guy Clone. Rolly beats Ryan up on the inside all day long. Let me know when they court opens. All right, bet. I hope you're right, bro. I think Ryan's gonna win. Like I said, I don't like Ryan, but I try to be fair with my assessments, man. I think Ryan beats Rolly, and I think Ryan also beats Devin Haney in a rematch too, unless he just looks pitiful, you know what I'm saying, without the PEDs in the system, which I don't think is the case, you know, so I don't think he will. Yo, shout out to my guy Tech Dumb Dad, man, dropping the gifted membership, man. My boy coming through like Oprah with the gifted.
1, 2, 3.
Shout out to my guy, man, with the gifted membership, man. Thank you so much, Tech Dub Dad. He said, oh, now you good, Chloe. Way to make me feel. Yes, sir. You know I gotta make you feel bad, bro. But yeah, she passed away last Monday, man, on the 24th, excuse me, on the 24th last month. So yeah, so the funerals, we finally got the funeral situated for Friday. So yeah, just been dealing with that stuff, man, trying to get everything set up. But ain't nothing to feel bad about, man. God is good. You know what I'm saying? We still here, so you know it is. I love my grandma, and you know, 96 years, long time, you know. Only God knows, man. Some people get a lot less than that. Some people get more than that. You know, it's all on God's timing. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I feel. That's a good question, though, Styles. What do you think, Styles? If you're still in here, do you think that Devin Haney bounces back? Like I said, I'm rooting for the young man with every fiber in my body. You know what I'm saying? I don't do people like that, bro. But as far I've never really been like a super Devin Haney fan. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my boy Trill Bill. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna always defend the sport. You know, and I don't think that I think anybody cheating is a bad look on the sport. So hopefully I answered that question. If not, I can elaborate further. But speaking of cheating, man. Did y'all see what Terence Bud Crawford said about the guy? That boy Manny Pacquiao? Ooh wee. Now, you know, I want to be very clear, man. For those of you that think Terence Crawford said anything wrong, I'm not going to lie. For those of you saying that Terence Crawford is the one that's making these accusations, this is what I feel about you. Oscar, talk to him.
You dumbass.
Yeah, I think you're just a dumbass. Has your head been under a rock? Has your head been in the sand? Do I think Manny Pacquiao cheated? No. That's why he's one of my, you see him as one of my emotes. Manny Pacquiao's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But I'm not dumb. I'm not oblivious to boxing and how it goes. A lot of people think Manny Pacquiao was cheating. In fact, a lot of people like to conveniently blame Floyd Mayweather for the fight happening quote unquote late. No, that was Manny Pacquiao's fault. If Manny Pacquiao would have took the test, the Olympic style drug testing, that fight would have happened on time. So a lot of people erroneously blame Floyd Mayweather. And to me, that's a testament that Floyd Mayweather, the American champion, one of the GOATs, did the right thing against the Filipino champion, one of the GOATs as well, by making him take the test and not having the fight. Because guess what? You know what Ryan Garcia proved? Ryan Garcia proved to us that if you don't like a fighter enough in Devin Haney, or if you like a fighter too much in Ryan Garcia, you don't care about how they win. Ryan Garcia could have went in there with a machete and a gosh dang Uzi. He could have went in there looking like Rambo and shot and chopped Devin Haney up and shot him down. Chopped him up and shot him down. People would have said, oh, he should have dodged the machete. He should have dodged the bullets like he was Neo from the Matrix. That's what people would have said. So if Manny Pacquiao would have bullied and beat up Floyd Mayweather, they would have found out he was on PEDs
afterwards, they wouldn't have cared. He would have still been a meme. And that's why Floyd Mayweather is one of the best, if not the best, because he's a thinker, bro. He doesn't just go in there and fight. He strategically plans his fights, his opponents, and the methods in which they fight and the confines in which they fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about strategically plans his opponents, like picking them and hand picking them. What I'm saying is that he makes sure that he dots his I's and crosses his T's. So do I think Manny Pacquiao was cheating? No. But do I think it's suspicious that it took so long for him to agree to take the Olympic style drug testing? Absolutely, I do. And the reason why I do, what furthers that point, is the fact that if you look at Manny Pacquiao, who's a beast, right? He wanted to come back for the Olympics. But didn't he say he didn't want to take Olympic style drug testing because of his religion? So unless he changed religions or denominations or had a change of heart or walk in a different path, why did he suddenly want to sign up for the Olympics? These past Olympics. I think if anybody does Olympic style drug testing, it would be the Olympics, right? So I'm just saying it looks suspicious. Do I think it was cheating? No, I just don't think that he wanted to take the test, because I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you're from. If you don't have a positive drug test that came back, then I don't think you cheated. You know what I'm saying? Even if, no matter how fishy it looks, I don't care. I want to see the proof. I'm a red-blooded Kamala Harris voting American. You know, you know, I'm a true American, bro. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. A lot of people say that, but they don't really believe that. You know, I don't care. People make accusations about Beterbiev cheating. Show me a failed test. People make accusations about Pacquiao cheating. Show me a failed test. People make accusations about Floyd Mayweather having an IV. Show me proof. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. So, but does that mean that I'm oblivious to the accusations? And sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. But I can't blame a fighter in Floyd Mayweather for wanting a guy to take a test. And if you're a fighter like Terence Crawford, I don't blame him for thinking that maybe he didn't take the test because he was cheating. I mean, that's just common sense. So Terence Crawford did not make these accusations, and I do not blame him for feeling like he cheated. I personally don't believe that Manny Pacquiao cheated, but I do think that there's a possibility. There's a possibility that everybody's cheating. You see what I'm saying? And there's a little bit more. It does look a little more shady when you don't sign a fight contract because you vehemently don't want to take a test. It looks bad. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. Let's be real. What's good? James Daly said, man, Oscar must be loaded. Hey, shout out to my guy James Daly dropping that graffiti on the chat walls with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Nah, he said, man, Oscar must be loaded. Now, I don't think Oscar's loaded. I don't think he's necessarily loaded, man. I just think Oscar has a good heart. He's loaded with love, you know what I'm saying? And he supports his brother, man. And I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Oscar, man. For real, man. Shout out to all the support I get. Shout out to all the members, you know. Shout out to Tech Dumb Dad dropping another gifted sub coming through like Oprah.
1, 2, 3.
Same with Tech Dumb Dad, man. Always coming through with the memberships and the gifted memberships, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank y'all for the support, man. Let's go. Keep us going and growing and keep the lights all around this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. That was a gifted membership to Isla. Please, when you receive a gifted membership upon expiration, I'm not saying that you have to, but consider renewing your membership. You know what I'm saying? It keeps us going and growing. And, you know, it's only $3 a month, man. So consider renewing your membership upon expiration, man. It really keeps us going and growing. And shout out to all the gifted memberships that we get, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Become a member, support the channel. It's only takes $3 a month, man. That's nothing to keep us going and growing. Imagine if we have 1,000 members, man. Man, the channel, I'll be streaming every day. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm already streaming every day, but I'll be really, really, really going. You know what I'm talking about? So we can really, the compensation could match the effort I put in, man. But we gonna get there one of these days. I appreciate all the support, man, from Clone, Oscar, Tech, everybody, man. James Daly, all the members, man. Everybody, man. Thank you so much. Can you gift them? I'm not sure. You gotta ask Tech. Tech the beast with that. Warpath was good. What's good, brother? Let's be real. What's good, man? On the job side, listen to the doc, civil engineers. Hey, shout out to the engineers. Yes, sir. Shout out to my guy. Let's be real, man. Appreciate you tuning in at work. But yeah, so Manny Pacquiao, do I believe that he cheated? No. But do I think that there's justification for people to think so? Of course I do. So I don't blame Terence Crawford for not having him in his top 5 because he believes that he cheated. And there's a good reason for that too, because what do we say in basketball? You know, I like to make cross references, right? In basketball, what do they say is the last thing to go? The last thing to go in basketball is your jump shot, right? That's why Ray Allen was impactful for so long. That's why Reggie Miller and even Steph Curry, we anticipate Steph Curry is going to be impactful for so long because his jump shot is pure. What is the first thing to go? Your athleticism, right? That's why we think that guys like Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose and people like that, whose game is predicated off their explosion and athleticism, we think that they tend to deteriorate a little faster. Same in boxing. What's the last thing to go? Your power. That's why George Foreman was able to come back at 4-5. Rest in peace to Big George. He was able to come back and still knock people's head off, like Michael Moore. That's why we think that Klitschko has a chance to come back and still be formidable because his power and he has that stiff jab, right? So that's why we believe in Deontay Wilder to come back, right? Because if he can land that right hand, it's still wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know what I'm talking about? So the power is the last thing to go. And Terence Crawford made a good point. He said, hey, man, he didn't knock out anybody once he got caught. Once he started taking the test. So do I think that it's plausible? Yeah, but do I think it's real? No, I don't think he cheated. But like I said, he's responsible for the suspicion, him being Manny Pacquiao. So I don't think Terence Bud Crawford as a fighter is wrong to be suspicious. I don't think anybody's wrong for that. I mean, people are suspicious. Like I said, when Beterbiev gets injured, I've heard people say that, oh, he doesn't really get injured. He's just cycling off the PEDs. What? They said, bro, I started crying laughing. They said Beterbiev doesn't really get injured. He's just faking an injury so he could cycle off the PEDs.
What?
So people say all types of crazy stuff. Now, do I believe them? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Until you get down. But it's so funny because those same people would make all these accusations about people cheating. Like I saw people say that Devin Haney, because he looked in shape and he was flexing after a workout, that he's on PEDs. But then those same people will say that Ryan Garcia is not on PEDs and he tested positive twice. That's what a B sample is. When you test a B sample, that means the A sample came back and you failed that too. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Shout out to my guy Clone, man. I'm confused. How to do gifted? What did you just read up? Shout out to my boy Clone, man. Renewed his membership. Let's get right. That's what we talk about, man. The membership renewals, man, keeps us going and growing. Shout out to my guy, man. He said he's here for another 30 months. Another 30 days he's back.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
My boy said he gonna keep us going for another 30 days. Shout out to my guy Clone, man, renewing that membership. Oh, at the bachelor level too, at the big man. That's a big membership, man, coming through like Thor. Yes, sir, man. That's the big membership too at the bachelor level, man. Bachelor level in boxing talk, man. Shout out to my guy Clone, man. He said, Tech, I need to read that book. He said, you are the iPhone Tech I don't see. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Should be on the same drop down in the super chat. Appreciate that, Tech. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm confused on how to give memberships. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I have to look into that so I can be able to tell people how to do it because I don't know. Yeah, so shout out to Tech, man. Shout out to all the people supporting, man. Shout out to Clone, man. Shout out to all the memberships. Shout out to my guy Oscar. Shout out to James Daly for supporting today, man. But Clone and Tech and Oscar, man, those are like big monsters when it comes to support, man. I got some other big monsters in there too, man. So shout out to y'all. But yeah, so with Manny Pacquiao not being top 5 of Terence, I was surprised by Terence Crawford's top 5 though. He said it's himself. He said Usyk. He said Inoue, Canelo, and then he said Tank. I thought he was for sure gonna say Bivol or Beterbiev, but I guess because they're going back and forth, he went with Tank, and I was surprised that he said Tank instead of Shakur. I know Shakur is probably punching the air, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going with Tank because I think even though Terence Crawford and Tank they don't have a good relationship, right? And he thought about it too. He was hesitant when he picked Tank. I think that it shows. That's why I respect Terence Bud Crawford because I feel like that's similar to what I do. Like you won't hear if you ask me who's the best champion at 140, I say Teofimo Lopez. I don't really like Teofimo Lopez like that, but when you're making an assessment, you should be able to remove your feelings and your sentiment out of it, bro. Like you can't take away people's skills and their accomplishments because you don't like them. It's like people when they say, "Oh, EJ." Or when they say this person's not good, like, oh, Tank is not good. It's so funny because I think Manny Pacquiao is the 8th division world champion, right? Some people will say, oh, no, he's 6 because why do they say that? Because in some of those cases, he won an interim belt or a regular belt. And in another of those cases, he had it was like at a catch weight or something. So some people don't consider him an 8 division champion. I do.
But you know what I also do? I also think that Tank is a 3-division world champion because I count him as a belt holder at 140. But some people will say, oh no, he's a regular. It was only a regular belt for Mario Barrios. Okay, well then you can't turn around and say that Manny Pacquiao is an 8-division world champion then, because some of those belts were regular belts. That's why some people say that he's a 6 world champion, 6-division world champion. But that's how people are, man. They pick and choose, and that's why your emotions bring out the bitch in you, because you can't even stay consistent in your own argument. You're so overwhelmed with emotion, like an adolescent, teenage, middle school girl or boy too. Let's not be discriminate. That you feel like that you can't even keep a consistent argument. One hand, you're saying that this guy is not a 3-division world champion because you don't like him and you don't respect the regular belts, but then you say the guy that you like is an 8-division world champion and some of those belts were regular belts. Which one is it? It's like, the other day I saw somebody put I think it was the Ring magazine. They put up Lomachenko's impressive feat of being being a 3-division world champion in 12 fights or something like that. That's dope. Shout out to Lomachenko, the Matrix, right? That's fire. But he's 18-3. It means he has 18 wins and 3 losses in 21 fights. Clarissa Shields, she's 16-0, a 2-time gold medalist, and she's a 4-time undisputed in 16 fights. 3-division undisputed. She got undisputed in twice in the same division, and then she's undisputed in 2 other divisions. And some people will say, oh, well, she hasn't fought anybody or she doesn't have enough fights. But then you're celebrating another guy, Lomachenko, who has less fights because of something that he did that wasn't even as impressive as what Clarissa Shields does. So it's like when you like somebody, it's just ridiculous. Like she's dominant in her field, just like Lomachenko was dominant in his field and against their competition. Just respect the sport. I just don't understand it, man. But people are just, they just expose themselves for the contradictions. It's ridiculous. But I definitely think that Manny Pacquiao is a beast. I don't think he cheated, but I'm not mad at Terence Crawford for thinking, or anybody who thinks that Manny Pacquiao cheated. I mean, that's what it looks like because he didn't want to take the test. When you refuse to take a test, then that kind of seems like you're cheating, because why wouldn't you want to make sure that we're all on an even playing field? Why wouldn't you want to make sure that you and your opponent are clean? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it just looks bad, but I believe that Manny Pacquiao had good reasons. I don't think he cheated, but I also think that I don't think Terence Crawford or anybody should be villainized for thinking that the legendary Pacquiao may have been on something. I don't think that's an unfair accusation. So Pacquiao versus Miracle was April Fool's joke. Ooh, I don't know. I didn't see that. I've been missing all the fights. Don't worry, Chloe. We gonna get right. I don't know. I didn't see that though. Did you see how the gift though, Chloe? Did you figure out? Thank you, Tech, for explaining it to him. I'm gonna look into it as well. That interview had some funny spots. He had them stuttering talking about the buddy of UFC. Oh yeah. Shout out to Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. I like Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian badman. That's my guy. But yeah, I mean, they said some stuff that they didn't really know what they were talking about, but that's okay. It was a good interview. Everybody's not gonna know everything. So Pac-Man not in his top 5 because he's suspicious, but Canelo is. He actually popped there. What's up, Boxer Guru? That's different though. You see, you're confusing, and you're not only are you confusing the two, Boxing Guru, you're conflating the two, because I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but sometimes when we let our emotions get the better of our logic, we sound illogical. You just said that Pacquiao, he's suspicious of Pacquiao, right? Okay. And you said Canelo actually popped dirty. When did Canelo pop dirty? And I'm not defending Canelo. I'm asking you, when did Canelo test positive? And this may not be something that you subscribe to. So I get it. It's difference of opinion, but I just want to show you another perspective, my perspective. Remember when Pac-Man got knocked out cold? He came back from that. Shout out to Pacquiao, bro. Pacquiao's a beast. That's one of my favorite fighters. You talking about by Juan Manuel Marquez, another one of my favorite fighters. I like Juan Manuel Marquez. I was always torn between those two when they fought. It's just like when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd fought. I was torn. I like Floyd a little bit more, and that's when I knew I liked Floyd a little more, because I found myself leaning towards Floyd a little bit. But I like both of them, and I met Pacquiao and got his autograph. I met Floyd too. He's great, man. Yeah, Triple C was talking some bullshit and was glazing Loma for no reason. You feel me? But Boxer Guru said, why do you think he feels Spence ain't no Hall of Fame where they fought some of the same fighters, and the casual Phil Spence his best win? I'll explain that too, Clone. Let me address Boxer Guru. So what I was gonna say is that Canelo popped dirty
when he was taking tests, right? So he was subscribed to the testing procedure. Pacquiao refused to undergo tests. That's the big difference. And that's the big distinction that has to be made, in my opinion. Pacquiao didn't want to take the test. Canelo was taking the test, and he popped dirty. And not only did he take the test, he popped dirty during training camp. He didn't pop dirty during the night of a fight like Ryan Garcia did. He popped dirty during training and preparation to the fight against Triple G for the second time. That's why it was postponed from May to September. And then one other thing that Canelo did, Canelo appealed it, because he not only believed in his innocence so much, he was so convinced of his innocence, he took it to the judicial system. And the judicial system determined that the levels at which he had the computer on the system and the means in which he said he ingested it accidentally and unintentionally, they said it worked out. So he took it to court. Another thing Ryan Garcia didn't do. So that's why I feel that mistakes happen. And I think that Canelo made a mistake and he didn't intentionally take anything. I think that it was cross-contamination. Oh, conveniently, which Ryan Garcia tried to say was cross-contamination. So contamination does happen. I can give you examples. Alicia Bumgarner is another example of cross-contamination. You know what she did that was similar to Canelo? She took it to court. And the judicial system found that her explanation played out. So I think that's a big difference between somebody who doesn't want to take a test at all and somebody who gets caught while taking tests during training and preparation of a fight. That's a big difference, bro. I mean, he said Boxing Guru said Canelo popped in 2018 before Triple G. I literally just said that. I gave you the whole scenario. And then he was initially suspended for 18 months and the sentence was severely reduced once he appealed it. Am I wrong? That's why they fought in September, right? So, I mean, so if you could say that Terence Crawford, I mean, it's so funny to me that when somebody says that they think somebody was cheating, people attack the person that has a suspicion. If only people demanded such an explanation from the people that are actually guilty. If only we attacked Ryan Garcia as much as we attacked Devin Haney for being cheated. If only we scrutinize Manny Pacquiao for not taking tests as much as we scrutinize the people that are saying that he probably had a reason for not taking the test, the world would be different. I like Pacquiao more than I like Terence Crawford. But I cannot sit here and say that Terence Crawford is out of bounds for saying that the guy who didn't want to take a test may have been cheating. That's how life goes, right? If I'm fighting you, Boxing Guru, and I say, hey, bro, let's take these tests, and you don't want to take a test, am I wrong for being suspicious? Or let's say vice versa. If me and you are fighting and I say, hey, bro, and you say, bro, let's take these tests to make sure that we're clean. And I say, no, I don't want to take these tests. Are you wrong for being suspicious? Or am I wrong for not taking the tests? I never understood that mentality. People act like you're wrong for thinking that he may have been on something. He did that by not taking the test. He's the one that caused it. If he would have took the test from jump, then there will be no accusations. There'll be no speculations. But no, we're mad at the guys that think that he might have had a good reason not to take the test, like he could have been on something. What are we talking about? Even you, like I said, I don't think that Pacquiao was on something, but I'm not going to murder the dude who thinks that he may have been on something because he decided not to take the test. Duh. Like, I never understood that. I never understood that concept, bro. I never understood that concept. Never understood that concept, bro. We attack the people that have the suspicion more than we attack the people that look suspicious. I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. I never understood that, bro. I never understood it, bro. Shout out to Kendrick. What's good? He said, in a way, refused the test. Told the testers to make it. Come on, James. Bro, what are we talking about? Crawford's gloves are suspicious. Yeah, his gloves are suspicious too. Bro, I'm not. That's the thing. People make things what they're not, bro. Like, I'm not saying that Terence Crawford don't have no shaky business too. Like, the gloves with Avedisian look crazy. And then it repeated again with didn't he have another rip with like Madrimov or something like that? It looked crazy. But that's a good point. Thank you, Boxing Guru. And I'm not talking just to you. I'm speaking in general. Sometimes I get passionate. People think I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking you, bro. You know, maybe that's the Jamaican and Nigerian and American in me, man. You know, it's a whole lot of fire, I guess. No, a lot of combustion. But I'm not attacking. I'm just speaking in generalities. Now, I'm not talking to you, bro. Like I said, if you don't have to
subscribe to what I say, and just like I have to subscribe to what you say, I'm just giving my opinion on it. I'm not saying that, like I said, I don't think Pacquiao cheated, but I don't think it's out of bounds for people to believe that he could have been doing something diabolical or nefarious or, you know what I'm saying, or malicious, you know. And let's get back to Clone's question. I think Clone's had a great question, right? He said, why do I think that Crawford is dismissing Errol Spence as a non-Hall of Famer? I dropped a video on this, but I like this question, right? I disagree. I disagree emphatically. I think that Errol Spence Jr. is definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't think it's anything close. I don't even know why anybody's questioning it. But, however, I think Terence Crawford, if anybody is going to question Errol Spence Jr.'s Hall of Fame claim, it's Terence Crawford. Because, like I said, Terence Crawford is one of the most successful, one of the most phenomenal, one of the most accomplished boxers we have in the sport right now. Terence Crawford, Usyk, and Inoue. Those three are interchangeable. You know why they're interchangeable for 1, 2, and 3? No matter what order you have Inoue number 1, Usyk number 2, and Bud number 3. It doesn't matter. Or Bud number 1, Usyk number 2, Inoue number 3, or Usyk number 1. It doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. You know why? Because they all share the phenomenal accolades and distinction of being undisputed in 2 different weight classes, and being undefeated while doing it. It's so funny to me that Terence Crawford is 41-0. I think Usyk is 27-0. Inoue's 30-0 or whatever he is. Either way, Terence Crawford has the most fights out of the 3 of them. Terence Crawford also has the most recognizable names on his resume than the 3 of them. It's so funny though that while he might be one of the most accomplished, most successful, most phenomenal fighters, he's definitely the most discredited fighters, disrespected fighters, and critiqued fighters out of them all. People will sit here and say Terence Crawford only beat Errol Spence. Do you realize that Terence Crawford could not have fought Errol Spence and still would have been undisputed at 140? People act like that's his only accomplishment. And it's so funny because people will say, oh, he didn't fight anybody. Who did Alexander Usyk fight to get undisputed at cruiserweight? I guarantee you the average person can't name 3 people that Usyk beat to claim undisputed at cruiserweight. And that's okay. Because when you claim undisputed, that symbolizes that you beat everybody. So I don't need to know the individual personnel that you beat. That's why being undisputed is such a dope distinction. That's why it's the epitome of the sport. Same with Naoya Inoue. I guarantee you, people can't tell me 3 people or 4 people that he beat at 118 to claim undisputed, and that's okay because what you acquire at undisputed, it demonstrates your dominance, which is what matters the most. Terence Crawford did the same at 140, and you can still recognize more people that he beat as from a personnel standpoint than you can of Inoue and Usyk. You don't never hear anybody say, oh, Usyk didn't fight nobody. You never hear anybody say, oh, Inoue didn't fight nobody, but you always hear people say Terence Crawford didn't fight nobody. So the reason why I'm saying that to answer Clone's question is because if you're looking at it from Terence Crawford's perspective and you look at it like, hold on, you brought out a microscope and you critique my resume. So if you translate the same amount of criticism to Errol Spence that you do with me and every other champion, brother, there'll be a whole lot fewer Hall of Fame fighters that are inducted into the Hall of Fame. There'll be a lot less fighters inducted into the Hall of Fame if we hold them to the same standard that we hold Terence Crawford at. If you compare everybody to Terence Crawford and critique him in the same fashion that we do with him, there'll be a lot less people in the Hall of Fame, and there'll be a whole lot less going into the Hall of Fame in the future. That's how I took it. I feel like he articulated that very well. He said, bro, how is he going in when he hasn't accomplished the same things that I accomplished and people still doubt my resume? This man is undisputed in 2 different weight classes, and he just won another championship in his debut at a new weight class at 154 against an undefeated champion in Israel Madrimov. Errol Spence been at 1 division his entirety of his career. He campaigned at 1 division. And he was only unified. He was never undisputed. Unified is dope. So that fails in comparison to what Terence Crawford has accomplished. So from Terence Crawford's perspective, I absolutely understand why he doesn't think Errol Spence Jr. is a Hall of Famer. But the reason why I emphatically disagree is because I know that Errol Spence was in the most loved division, the most heralded division in 147 at the time, and he was carrying it on his back. I know that Errol Spence beat Lamont Peterson, who's a former champion. I know Errol Spence beat Kell Brook, who's a former champion. I know he beat Sean Porter, who was just recently inducted into the Hall of Fame
one version of the Hall of Fame. You know, I know Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia, who's an all-time great boxer. He's one of my favorite boxers when he was active. Whether he outsized him or not, I know Errol Spence was a cash cow in the face of that division, and he was selling out stadiums and pay-per-views and stuff like that. I know this, and I know he was unified. 3 times unified. So I'm not one of those people that think that you have to campaign at multiple weight divisions in order to be in the Hall of Fame. You don't. And I think that there's multiple ways to be successful and be inducted into the Hall of Fame. However, there's no doubt in my mind that Terence Crawford has a more impressive resume than Errol Spence. So if you're, and all Hall of Fame inductees are not created equal, right? Terence Crawford would be on the upper echelon of the Hall of Fame inductees, and Errol Spence, relative to Terence Crawford, or in comparison to Terence Crawford, he'll be on the lower end, but I still think he definitively gets in. So I disagree that Terence Crawford say he's not a Hall of Famer, but if you're Terence Crawford or you're Clarissa Shields or somebody else who's disrespected constantly, habitually, then of course you don't think that these other fighters get in the Hall of Fame. Because relative to what Terence Crawford has done, not to mention the fact that Terence Crawford obliterated Errol Spence, then of course he's going to think that Errol Spence didn't get in. So that's what I think. And people say stuff like, oh, well, he's shitting on his best win. Oh, he's disrespected his best win. He should just say Errol Spence is the Hall of Famer just to make him look better. That's some corny stuff that you would do. He doesn't have to make Errol Spence look like some juggernaut. He beat Errol Spence, which a lot of people didn't beat. Danny Garcia didn't beat Errol Spence coming off a car accident. Terence Crawford did. Yordenis Ugas didn't beat Errol Spence. Terence Crawford did. Yordenis Ugas beat Pacquiao. He didn't beat Errol Spence. So he is in a position where he doesn't have to manufacture a undefeated juggernaut of a champion to make himself look good. He already looks good. It's just that you don't like him for whatever reason. Maybe he talked about your mama. Maybe he banged your great auntie or that girl that you liked from the neighborhood, so you don't like him. But that's your personal business. There's nothing to critique on Terence Crawford as far as him being an all-time great. He could not fight again for the rest of his days. He could never lace up another pair of gloves or another pair of sabotage gloves, whatever you want to call it, and he's still an all-time great. If you don't think so, you don't know boxing, or you don't like boxing, you just like a certain boxer. That's your business, but we're not the same. There's nothing about Terence Crawford that's questionable about being a Hall of Famer with or without Errol Spence. That's just a fact. Once you're undisputed, you're in the Hall of Fame. So it is what it is. Bud's resume is fantastic. In my opinion, there's only one person in boxing right now that has a better resume than Terence Crawford. Now, you could say Usyk and Inoue have an equally impressive resume as Terence Crawford if you want, but there's only one person that has a better resume, in my personal opinion, than Terence Bud Crawford, and that's Canelo Alvarez. Because even though Canelo wasn't 2 times undisputed, he is undisputed, the first ever undisputed at 168. Not to mention, he beat a lot of Hall of Famers. He'd been in the ring with Triple G 3 times. He'd been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, even though he came up short. That's still an all-time great. He beat Miguel Cotto, a Hall of Famer. He beat Sugar Shane Mosley, a Hall of Famer. He'd been in the ring with he went up and beat Kovalev to get a belt at light heavyweight. He'd been in the ring with Bivol, who's a future Hall of Famer. Even though he came up short, he still shared the ring with him. So from a personnel standpoint, individual standpoint, I think Canelo has a higher caliber of competition. So when you combine that with also having 66 fights, 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, and then also combine that with the undisputed and combine that with the face of boxing, I think he has a more impressive resume, because your resume is not just who you fought. That's your record. Your resume is who you fought, your record, your accomplishments while doing the fighting, and your dominance while beating them, right? So there's 3 main components. It's your record, it's your dominance, and who you fought from an individual personnel standpoint. That makes your resume. A lot of people use the word resume, don't even know what the freaking word means. You know, so your resume is not just your that's your record. Your win-loss column is your record, not your resume. Just to be clear, you know. He said, "Yo, mama jokes, you're a grown man. Hey, I thought about your mama. I might bang your mama too. Hey, when did I say your mama joke? I didn't say your mama joke. And what's wrong with me? Of course you were grown. Hey, that's why I say your mama jokes. I'm a grown man. I didn't say anything about nobody's mama. Did I? My bad if I did. I don't think I said about nobody's mama. I'm trying to rub on your mama booty. I ain't trying to talk trash about your mama. Joe deserves Hall of Fame before Loma for sure. I'm gonna open up the Discord now, man. But that was just my thoughts on that. I think Errol Spence Jr. is undoubtedly a Hall of Famer. But I think Terence Crawford is one of the few people that have a right to question somebody's Hall of Fame merit. I think Bud feels like shit. I showed y'all he not on my level, so he doesn't deserve to be Hall of Fame. I don't think he feels like that, bro. I think you know, I don't think it has anything to do with him beating him, Kendrick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think so. And I think what's a testament to that is the fact that I do think that Errol Spence is his best win.
But I like the fact that he's not coming at it like, oh, that's my best win, so I got to make it seem like Errol Spence is a great. Let me say that Errol Spence is great. Let me toot your horn about pause. Yo, let me be an advocate for how great Spence is and an apologist for Errol Spence's career as far as its merit. Let me do that. You don't have to do that. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it has anything to do with him beating Errol Spence. I think he's just saying that, yeah, Errol Spence campaigned. I think he said everything. He campaigned at one division and he wasn't undisputed. When people don't even consider my undisputed run at 140 as nothing. They act like he didn't beat an undefeated Eastern European and Victor Postal. They act like he didn't beat he wasn't the first person to beat an undefeated Yuriorkis Gamboa, who was considered a mini Mike Tyson. They act like these things didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't think he was saying it from a perspective that he whooped on Errol Spence. I think he's just saying that from a career standpoint, whether I beat him or not, you know, and you're right. It definitely helps his argument that he beat him. But I honestly, bro, the reason why I said it doesn't matter, because I don't think that he will say Tank will be in the Hall of Fame either. I'm going to be honest, bro. I don't think that he, and I could be wrong, I could be reaching. I don't know him personally. I don't think that he accidentally said that Tank was on the top 5, his pound for pound list, and he didn't put Bivol or Beterbiev. I think that Terence Crawford is a real student of the game, and he realizes that while Beterbiev is a beast, I hate when people say this stuff, right? Beterbiev is great because of the way he beat people, not because of who he beat. Let's be very clear on that. I like Beterbiev. Y'all know me. I like Beterbiev a lot. I like Bivol a little more. I like Bivol a whole lot too, you know? But Beterbiev is great for the same reasons. People don't like to admit this now, but I'm going to say it. I know. Hold on. Let me pull my GTD chain out. Hold on. I'm going to say this. Y'all going to be, some people going to be mad, right? Don't forget to smack that like button before you get mad. Beterbiev, tooting horns, isn't this boxes? Yeah, that was a no diddy. I ain't going to lie. That was a no diddy.
No diddy.
Yeah, my bad. I ain't gonna say that. But I'm going to say this right here. I'm going to say this right here. He said, typical digger. I'm out of here. Yeah, get the fuck out my stream, bitch. No, don't worry. I'm gonna help you get out. I'm gonna say this right now. Yeah, someone ban that goofball. And I wish you would say that in my face too. I'd appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would really appreciate. You know, because I give you a typical ass whooping too. I might give you an atypical ass whooping. Shout out to my guy Oscar dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. But yeah, in the court, I'm gonna pull you up. I want to say this too before I get to it. Beterbiev is a beast. Now he got undisputed, right? Shout out to Beterbiev. He's a beast, right? But he beat Tavares Cloud. Tavares Cloud was his third. Tavares Cloud was already coming off of 2 losses, right? That's a signature win for Beterbiev. Beterbiev beat Callum Smith. Beterbiev beat Bivol. Beterbiev was undisputed, right? But Beterbiev was known as a monster because he was 100%, had 100% KO ratio, right? Why do we like Tank? Because Tank looks impressive when he knocks people out. Beterbiev looks impressive when he knocks people out, right? I remember I was having a discussion with somebody about why they think Beterbiev is so much better than Gervonta Tank Davis. Because I said that, man, I was talking about guys with high KO ratios. And they're like, oh, yeah, but Beterbiev is better because look at his resume. I said, okay, let's look at his resume. Tell me 3 people that he beat. And he couldn't do it. But when you're on the internet, and he was on the internet now, he had Google at his fingertips. Dude's stupid. But anyway, people get so caught up in just regurgitating what other folks say. Beterbiev is a beast. Tank is a beast too. And they're both beasts for the same reasons. But Tank did it at multiple divisions. He beat multiple champions. Beterbiev is a beast because he knocked out everybody, but you don't know who he knocked out. Beterbiev got dropped by Callum Johnson. You don't even know who Callum Johnson is. Beterbiev got dropped by Jeff Page Jr. You don't even know who Jeff Page Jr. is. Bro, I remember somebody tried to argue with me, said, oh, Beterbiev never got dropped. I said, no, you're right. Beterbiev never got dropped singular. He got dropped twice, plural. And there's nothing wrong with that because he overcame the adversity and still won. But I'm just saying the false narratives that people build. It's like you don't even watch boxing for real. You just watch TikTok clips and highlight reels and IG posts. That's not watching boxing. Beterbiev's most impressive win is Bivol, undoubtedly. He just beat Bivol in 2 fights ago. You really don't even know who Beterbiev beat. You just like him because of the way he's beating people. But then when I tell you how Tank beats people, you'd be like, oh, well, Tank ain't beat nobody. Tank beat more recognizable opposition than Beterbiev has. That's just a fact. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. If you could tell me 5 without referencing Google, I dare anybody in this chat. Well, not anybody, not the real boxing fan. I'm talking to the groupies now. Like that Warpath Boxing Academy, the meat sucker that he is. He couldn't name 5 people that Beterbiev beat. Not 5. Not 5. So it's just a narrative that people push when they like somebody or dislike somebody. Beterbiev is definitely one of the top fighters, especially because he hit undisputed. But it's impressive because he got undisputed. Before he was just a knockout artist knocking out people that nobody really knew. And it is what it is. People give him credit for beating Marcus Brown. Who has Marcus Brown beat? I think that you're infatuated with that win because Beterbiev looked all bloodied, right? Because of that cut. His best wins before Bivol was Alexander Vazdik. That's just a fact. And you didn't even know who Alexander Vazdik was until he fought David Benavidez because you don't watch boxing. So let's think of the notable people that Beterbiev beat. He beat Vazdik and he beat Bivol. Don't act like you know who Callum Smith is because I know you can't tell me 3 people that Callum Smith fought. And I'll give you 2 of them, Beterbiev and Canelo. You can't name me another one that Callum Smith fought. So outside of Vazdik and Bivol, who else has Beterbiev beat that you know, that you recognize? You don't. You don't. And bro, and Vazdik was a great win. I think Bivol's his best win. Vazdik was a fantastic win because Alexander Vazdik, he was coming off with a win where he beat Adonis Superman Stevenson. That's a great win. But what I'm saying is when you break it down, you cannot tell me that somebody has a great career over somebody else and the other person beat more recognizable champions. I'm not saying that Beterbiev is not great. I'm just saying that these other fighters are great too, particularly Tank. It was just so funny how sensitive people get. I was just talking about the KO percent. I was like, man, these guys are great, man. High KO ratios. Gary Anton Russell, Gervonta Davis, Beterbiev. And the guy was like, oh, well, Beterbiev has a much better career. Yeah, he does now because he got undisputed. But it's from a personnel standpoint, you have to factor these things in too. So when you talk about resume is not just record. Resume is not just accolades or achievements. It's also the personnel and the timing and the dominance in which you demonstrated over your opponents. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull up the Discord now, but yeah, I love Beterbiev. It's one of my favorite fighters. I got a lot of favorite fighters though. I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot of favorite fighters though. So you know, but my top 3 is Canelo, Tank, and Juto Nakatani in that order. Yo, what's good, fellas? Yes, sir. We got gang in here, man. We got my boy Kendrick, got my boy Oscar, we got my boy Tech. Let's get it, man. What's good, fellas?
What's up, bro?
Appreciate y'all pulling up, man.
I just wanted to start off by saying Loma not a Hall of Famer. That's all.
That's crazy, bro. Loma is a Hall of Famer, man. I got to give my boy the Hall of Fame, man. But I will say this though, similar to Terence Crawford, I'm gonna give Kendrick the same exact respect I give Terence Crawford. I disagree, but I understand it. I understand it. Like, bro, he's 18-3. He lost his second professional fight. People say, "Oh, it doesn't count because Orlando City." What you mean? If he's that great, he wanted to take a championship opportunity in his second fight. So we're not gonna hold it against him because he came up short. But if he would have won, oh, he would have been the greatest thing since sliced bread. But because he lost, we're not gonna count it. What? He only got the championship fight on his second fight because we thought he was that great, and obviously his team did too. And Orlando Salido told him it's different in the pros. So absolutely that counts. In 21 fights, he lost 3 of them. But the Devin Haney just lost 1, which he didn't even really lose, and now he's trash. But the guy that we called in trash, oh, Lomachenko, that's one of his losses. Ain't that how funny how it works? So when Kendrick says, oh, Lomachenko's not a Hall of Famer, I'm not mad at it. I just respectfully disagree. But I'm not mad at it. I understand that. That's a hard sell. If you want to compare him to, if you want to compare others' careers who we question Hall of Fame merit like Terence Crawford,
or Errol Spence, then I mean, yeah, you got to question Lomachenko's. I'm sorry. That's just life.
Hey, man, if Loma's a Hall of Famer, Lamont Roach is one win against Tank away from being a Hall of Famer.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, bro.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, hey, I mean, yeah, I mean, if Lamont Roach beat Tank, I mean, that's a good. I mean, he only has one loss, right? That was to Jamel Herring, and that's a champion. I mean, hey, I mean, if you let people talk, come on now. If you let people talk, bro, if you let people talk, man, a lot of times, as long as they're not coming from a groupie perspective, they usually have good. I ain't gonna say usually. Usually in here, they have good perspectives and good explanations. Loma and Ryan both whooped Haney 100%. Yeah, see, I mean, you're one of those groupies that we're talking about.
Loma definitely lost. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy? Both people that he said 100%, they're actually 0% because Lomachenko has an L, so he literally lost, and then there's a no contest, so he literally doesn't have L's to either one of them. But carry on, bro. I need to politely get kicked out. Okay, I got you, Oscar. I don't hear Tech either. Tech, you there, bro? I might have to pull him out.
Yeah, I hear Tech when he joined another either.
All right, appreciate it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that oh, we lost Tech. I got Oscar back.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What's good, bro?
I want to say my piece. I'm not gonna say Loma is or isn't a Hall of Famer. I'm gonna say if Loma's a Hall of Famer, then Nakatani's a Hall of Famer. Wars a Hall of Famer. Roach is a Hall of Famer. Who else?
And created the Hall of Fame, if that's the case.
Yeah. Soto Ramirez is a Hall of Famer.
Oh, that's a fact.
Tyler's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, and Benavidez is not a Hall of Famer then.
Absolutely. Bro, but you know, I mean, I know people get mad at me, but I'm high on Benavidez, man. I know he's an interim title holder, you know, but it's so crazy. Like I said, the same people say that he's not a champion. I get it, you know, I get it. I'm not saying that he should be considered a full champion because he's not. But at the same time, I mean, those are the same people that say Manny Pacquiao is an 8 division world champion. I mean, two of those belts were regular belts. You know, and a regular belt, coincidentally, that's what Benavidez has. One of the belts he has is a regular belt. The other one's an interim belt. So if he's not a real champion, how can you turn around and tell me that Manny Pacquiao is an 8 division champion? I say Manny Pacquiao is an 8 division champion, but I'm also one that doesn't disrespect or dismiss regular belts. So if you got to at least be consistent. We're gonna hold you accountable, and you can't have it both ways.
You know what I think that is?
What's that?
That's just a theory of mine. Is because we don't count them until you're a full super champ, at least in one division. You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm not mad at that. And I agree. And I think that's very much applicable to David Benavidez. It's hard to consider him a real champion because he's never been a super champion. At least the other guys like Manny Pacquiao, he was a champion one place, and then he went somewhere else and got a regular belt, or even like Tank. So nah, that's a good point. Yo, we got Tech in the building, man. We good? Clone in the building too.
Good now.
Yes, sir. Talk to me, man. Yo, Cito, what's good, bro?
Niggas.
What's good, my bro?
I was just going off about Loma. Y'all couldn't even hear a damn word I was saying.
No, talk to me, bro. Yeah, go off, bro. Your turn, man. We had Kendrick go, we had Oscar go, we had Tech go, and Clone gonna go next.
Tech about to get in his reverend mode.
Oh, he about to drop the ethos.
Back and listen.
He about to drop.
Put in the work, man. You got to put in the work. A Hall of Fame career is over many fights. You can't just come in. 21 total fights, and we're talking, and 3 of them losses, and we're talking about Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that, man. That's crazy to me. When you got guys in the Hall of Fame that are 90 fights, 60 fights, I mean,
that's true.
Even 30. I mean, at least 30, man. You gotta have at least 30.
I agree with that. I agree with that assessment for real.
Or at least 20 wins.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Even at 20, let's say, all right. So is he Hall of Fame if he's 21-0 right now?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I like the Gary Russell win. You know, I like the No Mas Nicholas Walters win. I like the Guillermo Rigondeaux win. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Guillermo Rigondeaux, y'all watched the fight. He looked like he was 2 weight classes bigger than him. You know, but we'll say that when we see Jesus Ramos looking bigger than Joey Spencer or this guy looking bigger than this guy, but you know, it's like Lomachenko get a different graded rubric. That's what annoys me. But I would still say he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not mad at it.
How many Hall of Famers has Loma beat?
Maybe one. Maybe at most one. At most.
And that win, probably that fighter will end up be more deserving by the time their career's over of a Hall of Fame spot than Loma will. Because let's just face it, man, where Loma's hiding, man. Loma's hiding. I don't even know that we'll see Loma again. We might see him one more time for one more big check. That's the biggest fight he can get, and then he's out, man. I think so I'm sorry. Where you been?
It's so crazy.
Hold that shit hostage is where you been. You got a hostage over there.
He said he holding the belt hostage, and Chloe said he went back to war.
And not even making no demands.
It's just, to me, it's so funny because we get so much shit, but Loma is doing it just as worse, or if not worse, actually.
Yeah, Chloe, what you got to say, bro? Let Chloe get in there real quick, man. Man said he at war again. Go ahead, bro.
So what's the top? We talking about Loma being Hall of Fame?
Yes, I can't believe where have we come to in this channel where I'm defending Loma? That's crazy. I feel like I'm defending him, bro. But I will say this though, in his defense, and not just for the sake of argument. I will say right now, his hiatus is justifiable. You know, he has a back injury, and I wasn't necessarily buying it at first, but then he's with the IBF, right? And I feel like the IBF is one of the most strict when it comes to adhering to the rules of the sanctioned body. So if they determine that whatever documentation he provided is sufficient enough for them to give him a medical exemption, then I'm gonna give it to him as well. I'm gonna so he's out until October because of his back. So I got to ride with broke? That. Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know the severity. I don't know the severity.
You know how many back injuries I've had, and they didn't take damn 9 months for it to heal up. Come on now. And he said he was pushing a kid on a swing. Isn't that the story we got?
Yeah. He pushing.
Have you ever pulled a muscle pushing? I've done that.
Hey man, might have been a big kid, man. Might have been a big kid, man. Hey man, freak accidents happen. I'm just more impressed.
You're pushing Usyk's kid on the swing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just more surprised that I'm coming to Loma's defense. That's crazy, bro.
I guess the only thing I got to say is the same thing I usually say when it comes to Hall of Fame. Like, what's the criteria, and if what do we judge in the Hall of Fame on? Is it the people he fought, if he's undisputed, or and that's who's he fought that would give you that justification for him to be a Hall of Famer?
Okay, so
Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux for sure to me is his best win. But I mean, okay, but you know me, I know y'all about to yell at me, bro. Yeah, you don't think Rigondeaux's his best win? Who's his best win? Do you think?
He was like 3-weight divisions up.
Yeah, he definitely looked bigger, but I still think so in my defense though, I also give Errol Spence credit for being Mikey Garcia, and now Mike Garcia he was a smaller guy, and I didn't like that fight, but. I do give him credit because it's like Terence Crawford, right? If Canelo beats Terence Crawford, I'm gonna give Canelo credit. I'm not gonna give him as much credit as if Terence Crawford beats Canelo, or if Mikey would have beat Errol, or if Guillermo Rigondeaux would have beat Loma. But the fact that those guys are so good, I do think that they have chances to win. So if I think you have a chance to win, I got to give you credit for handling business too. You know what I'm saying?
His best wins is one of the Japanese guys he faced when he was at 130.
Loma?
Either one. Yeah.
I would say but I also give him credit for Kambosos too. Like he was the first person to stop Kambosos. I know y'all gonna talk trash, but I do because I'm not saying that. I'm saying what I'm saying. My point is that Kambosos is a former champion. You know what I'm saying? He's a decorated champion, and I'm not saying that that's a win. That's okay. Let's be fair. Okay, who's Devin Haney's best win? Who are two of his best wins?
Loma and Kambosos.
Right. So it's like So. I got to say that Loma is at least a good win. I mean, I know it happened after Haney, but it's still a good win. I'm reaching.
Loma's a decent win. Loma's a decent win.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
and the first to stop him too.
After somebody gets washed twice, I mean,
that's true.
He was already exposed. The game plan was already, put out there.
That's true.
He didn't create the game plan to beat.
That's
the
true.
Dude,
That's true.
It's a little bit different.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Think the criteria for the Hall is a formula, right? It should be. It shouldn't be just based on one. You shouldn't be able to do one thing. Like. So we're basing Hall of Fame for Loma. I feel like a lot of people are getting it confused with the skill set. Yeah, the skill set is Hall of Fame skill set.
Absolutely.
But the longevity, you got to put the work in.
Yeah,
I tell me 21 fights and you're in the Hall of Fame, and people talk trash about Julio Cesar Chavez's career when he did at 100 damn fights, man. Like,
what did they try to say? 90 of them were cab drivers. That's disrespectful, bro. Disrespectful. Bro.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's a formula, man. It's who did you beat?
I agree with that one.
How long did you fight?
When did you beat them?
When did you beat them? But how would you judge when did you beat them? Like, what do you mean by when did you beat them?
Like, for example, am I giving the same credit to somebody like let's even say a Holyfield? If I'm giving Holyfield the same credit for beating Tyson that I am Buster Douglas.
Here's why you give everybody the same credit.
Okay.
It doesn't matter when you beat them. Here's why. George Foreman was whooping people's young cats' asses when he was 180 years old and 80 pounds overweight and been eating off the Foreman grill. It's
not the Foreman,
but it's not. It's flipping the. It's just doing the formula backwards.
Was he beating good competitors though? When at their age,
he beat a world champion eventually, and Michael Moore. So Michael Moore got there somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And he sparked him.
At 45, right?
Yeah, at 45 years old. So if at 45 you can become a heavyweight world champion, which is we can all agree it's the hardest division, to do that at that age for sure. We ain't never seen it before. Why ain't we never seen it before then?
I would say somebody who's a smaller weight class would have a harder time at that age than somebody who's at heavyweight.
Yeah,
like because of one punch potential.
Yeah, but I said heavyweight, all you need is one punch. You're a big dude. All you gotta do is land one.
But at 45,
you could get clapped too. Yeah, exactly. I'm about to say, I see both ways. Yeah, I see both ways.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, but I still think it might be a little bit harder at the heavyweight since you're so much, slower than everybody.
How did Cesar Chavez do it for so long at a smaller weight class?
He's fighting substitute teachers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say he's at a medium weight class. I mean, a small weight class to me it'd be like minimum weight.
Yeah.
Like Ricardo, you know Ricardo Lopez is like he was 33 and they were calling him old. He was a grandpa.
Yeah.
You can never replicate his style as Superfly or Light Fly or whatever. It's like that's a small weight class to me.
You know what? I think both have good points, Tech and Kendrick. I would slightly lean towards Kendrick though. I do think I'm just trying to imagine like a 45-year-old doing that at welterweight. Ooh, that might be a little harder. But I mean, they're both spectacular though. They're both spectacular.
49.
Yeah, that's
Bernard
true.
was 49.
I was about to say.
Yeah, 51 getting knocked out the ring. You're right about that. Yeah. He's what, middleweight or is that super middleweight? Yeah, that's true.
During one of the middleweight's weakest points too, if we're being honest.
I do give him a lot of credit for Kelly Pavlik though. I ain't gonna lie. That was
beat the hell out of Kelly Pavlik,
bro.
too.
That was impressive, bro. And especially what Kelly Pavlik did to Jermaine Taylor right before that, man. Like I said, I don't. I both of them are impressive. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make it seem like, because sometimes people think that if you pick one, you're saying the other one's not. No, they're both phenomenal. But I would say that I think the smaller weight. Nah, 45 is crazy.
I mean, you had
45 champion
at the minimum weight. He was damn near 40, I think, when he won.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And
so there's examples on both ends.
Yeah.
So
I think all anomalies regardless. Like it's not something that's normal.
Right.
So it's hard to judge people based off of that.
Yeah, that's true.
James Daly said not giving credit to fighters beating up on washed up future Hall of Famers. Who are you talking about? When matter, I agree with you though.
Van Rodriguez. He's talking about Van Rodriguez.
Nah, I just want to make sure, because if I say that, I could say the same thing and people get mad at me. It's like when I watched the Tim Tszyu interview. I said this. I was like, bro, I don't think it's wise for him to have a family reunion. And he's about to fight Bakhram, and people said, oh, I'm hating on family reunions. What? I'm hating on family. I'm like, bro, what? And then I just watched the interview yesterday, and Tim Tszyu said, yeah, it was a mistake having my father there because it was a distraction. But when I say
Doc
it, though, it's because
Doc is anti-family, y'all.
I get, bro. Bro, I can't make this up, bro. Literally, a person put on there on the comments. Yeah, bro. Hey, bro, people crazy, bro. Like anyone, for example, Lennox Lewis beating Tyson.
Okay, but here's
I think that's
different.
different.
I don't know if I give Lennox the credit for Tyson one. I feel like Tyson was well past his, like he was washed up already. I felt.
Here's why I give you credit for beating up along in the tooth Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter to me. Legendary. I still am going to give you credit for the win, simply because that's the way boxing has always been. These guys hang around longer than they should. They hang around longer than they should. And if you're going to put your legacy on the line against a young lion and you get ate up, then, I mean, that's what you get.
You give credit to Jake Paul for being Tyson.
That's different. Come on,
That's
man.
not
He's
a real
come on,
fight.
bro.
That's
He's
not a
60.
real
No. Y'all watch. Come on, man. Come on. No. Come on, man. No, we got to use our discretion now.
Nah, you can't give credit then.
Nah, I'm with Tech. I think it matters. Like, the guy still has to be serviceable, though, bro. Like, he can't be. Come on now.
If Jake Paul would have beat a 45-year-old Mike Tyson, you know, maybe a little bit more credit. But we all know a 45-year-old Mike Tyson kills Jake Paul.
So
he had to be 60.
Right.
Yeah, give credit to being a washed up fighters, but
not
washed. Y'all don't give credit.
I will never say it's your best win. I will never say it's your best win.
Okay, you saying washed? He was retired.
Yeah, washed. Yeah, I don't think Tyson was washed against Lance Lewis. I think I don't think he was at his peak.
I think he was washed, man. He didn't look good,
washed.
man.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're washed.
Right, exactly. I don't think that's washed.
Tyson after jail is washed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was washed, bro. He was washed, man. That man looked terrible in the ring.
All right, so Kambosos again hating, he was washed.
Yeah, I think he said Kambosos against Haney. I think a decline is different from, like, to me, in my opinion now, I think Deontay Wilder and Jose Pedraza, I think those guys are washed now. I don't think, but let me think of somebody. I wouldn't say who's a guy. Tim Tszyu. I wouldn't say Tim Tszyu's washed. I think now, if Joey Spencer beats him, then I would say he's washed. Or it depends on how Joey Spencer beats him. I would say it depends.
I would agree that Tyson was mentally washed. I think by then, mentally, he just didn't give a shit, man. It was about trying to get some of his money back that he had lost
over the years.
Washed,
man.
Yeah,
I don't think he really cared if he won that fight or not.
True.
So I don't think physically he was washed, though. Maybe his back was still bad, you know, because he's had that bad back forever. But
spinal.
Yeah.
I think spinal. Man, my back is broken.
My back is broken. Spinal. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that. Like, for example, I think we would say that's Lance Lewis's most highest profile win, but I never thought that was his best win anyway. So I get what y'all saying.
Of course not.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely a highest profile win. But I want to say that was his best win.
The biggest name on his resume. Put it that way, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, I like his Evander Holyfield wins. I like that. I know that Vitaly Klitschko could have went either way. That was a close fight. I thought Lance Lewis won. And I could see how some people think that Vitaly won, but I thought.
Man, I think Lennox was the best of that generation by far. I think.
I feel the
by
same.
far. It's not even questionable.
But let me sit this one out for a clone say that I'm being biased, you know, because
bro, you are biased. Bro. You just gave credit to people fighting watch fighters, but you can't give credit to Parker beating Dubois.
you mean Bacoli? You mean Bacoli?
Oh, yeah, Bacoli. Yeah,
see, look at you. 2 days, bro. Stop it, bro.
It's still a win.
Stop it, bro.
He's not fighting somebody that's washed.
That's worse. He wasn't prepared.
I think that Bacoli. That Bacoli fight was the biggest mistake of that Bacoli will make in his career.
I don't think he should have took it.
No way.
To be honest,
no way.
I disagree. I think he should take it. I think that.
Man.
The reason why I'm gonna say this. The reason why I say this is because if Turkey, I think in hindsight's 2020, of course, but I think in hindsight, Bacoli's not. He's not like a high profile fighter, you know what I'm saying? So, and according to his trainer, Billy Nelson himself, that fight made him a millionaire, man. So absolutely, I'm taking it. And especially when you work with Turkey. Turkey has a history of reusing guys. Turkey's not, as so far, he hasn't demonstrated where he's just going to throw you away if you lose. So I think that was a good gamble. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like Bacoli, they knew they weren't going to win, dog. And I'm not saying that to be like calling them punks, but I mean, bro, preparation means something, man. You can't get out the bed and go fight a chiseled Joseph any heavyweight. You can't fight anybody that's chiseled and that's a contender and taking it seriously in any division on 2 days' notice. You can't. That's disrespectful.
That's why I think it was stupid because you're not just talking about Joseph Parker, the boxer. You're talking about Joseph Parker, where he's at in his career right now, coming off the wins he's coming off of, the confidence he's built. There was no way in hell Bakole had a chance of beating Joseph Parker.
Not on 2 days'
Right,
notice.
right.
I
that
would have
part.
put my kids' college funds on the line for that one.
Yeah.
The house, the car, my mama's house.
Yeah, facts. I just think because he already has another fight. My bad. Go ahead, Kendrick.
I would say I think Bakole already knew what time it was. He just went there for a check.
Right.
And
That's
if
how I
I'm
think
going
too.
there for a check and I don't get knocked out cold, which he didn't. He went out on his feet. Like, I mean, you do a round and a half, bro. That's a win.
He did a little nice tumble though, you know.
Yeah, he tumbled. He got flashed and stuff. He went down, but his corner said, "Nah."
Exactly. No, I agree with you 1,000%. I agree.
At the end of the day, you rely on your corner to save you when you need it. And that, to me, shit, he ran off on the plug. If you ask me,
I'm with Kendrick 1,000% because, like you just said, because the referee, sorry, not the referee, his corner stopped it. It wasn't like, bro, that's perfect. What you just said. It wasn't like he went in there and got pounded on for 12 rounds.
Yo, what?
Pause.
Whoa.
Pause. Hey, yo, hold on. Yo, hold on. Come on, man.
You gotta relax, bro.
Come on, man. Okay. It wasn't like he got. It wasn't like it was a war. It wasn't like it was a war for 12 rounds. Like Kendrick said, the referee, not his referee, the corner, he got dropped once. His corner pulled him out. Bro, I was saying the same thing when Ishmael Davis was fighting Serhi Bochu. Shout out to his corner for stopping. I thought they should have stopped it earlier. When you take a fight on short notice, bro, you go get the money and you run off. Like, absolutely. You take minimal damage. Bro, we have conversations where Clone, I'll be like, hey, Clone, would you take a punch from Mike Tyson for $1 million? That's what Bakole did. And it wasn't Mike Tyson. It was Joseph Parker.
All right. Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, shit.
Let me ask y'all this, because this is an important question. Do you think taking the Parker fight when he took it made his career path go more on a faster path towards an actual shot at a heavyweight title, which we all thought, he waits out these fights that are going to happen. He beats a guy on the way there while he's waiting on these fights to play out. He could set himself up for a title shot. I don't see him getting a title shot now, no matter what.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say, does this help? Does this hurt him?
I think it hurts your career path. I think
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the long
longevity. Okay, I'm gonna let Oscar get in.
You got the money, but it's like what happens after that? Though?
Like a setback type stuff.
Did you trade dollars for you know what I mean? What could have been a huge payday? You could have been setting yourself up for an Usyk fight, depending on how these fights play out.
That's a good point. Go ahead, Oscar.
I don't know about Usyk.
Nah.
I don't know about Usyk.
Or another world champion, and where you got a full camp.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I know we're saying like, oh, it looks bad now. I'm gonna use a cross reference from soccer. It's like whenever you make a sub in soccer, you can make the ones that make sense, the ones that are like even the guy at the stand can make, or you can make like Jose Mourinho said. If you take this guy out and put this guy in, they both go out happy because this guy gets minutes and this guy gets playing time the next game. So what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, it looks bad right now, but let's say Bakole was considered the boogeyman, and that stigma's not going to go away just because Parker beat him. It's just Parker beat the boogeyman, right? So Bakole is on notice now. People are paying more attention to his bounce back fight, and if he wins, in a dominant fashion, even if it wins regular, like on points, whatever, then you got Parker and you got Bakole. Now they're both on fire. Now both people are talking about him, and Bakole is already there. He's in the rankings. He's like right there to get a title shot.
He's ranked number 5 in the WBC, I think.
But what's your path now? Are you going to have to fight 2 more guys that are in the bottom of part of the 15 before you even get that, just so you can stay in fight shape? Then you take a risk on getting beat by somebody. Because Bakole is badass, but Bakole has flaws, y'all. Bakole
he does.
But you know what he has
some
now?
holes.
You know what he has now that he didn't have before? That name presence.
Yep.
And I would say this to respond to. I think that the reason why I think it was just a little bump in the road is because, like I said, he already has a fight in May, bro. It's not like he's, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh,
yeah,
he's not. He's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
be on
yeah,
the
that's
shelf.
right.
Are we-
He's
are we
fighting
really-
F.A. Jogba.
With another high profile guy. Like, let's be honest.
But
He's
you know
another
what's funny?
high-profile
But
guy.
not only another guy, Oscar, the same guy he was gonna fight anyway. Because
Yeah.
we got to remember this too, Tech. This is what I'll say. We got to consider this. The guy F.A. Jogba, not F.A. Jogba, sorry. Who was Big Bang Zhang, Zele Zhang, and Ajit Kabayel. Remember, they were ordered to fight Bakoli, and they both turned it down. So it wasn't like he was getting these high-profile fighters to fight him anyway, because, like you said, he was considered the boogeyman. So if he gets an opportunity on the back end to just get this quick little money, and you know you're gonna have a fight in May anyway with F.A. Jogba, the same fight that you were planning on getting. You know, I reported on that way before the Joseph Parker fight. You see what I'm saying? So, and then now it actually came to fruition. So it's like, hey man, I mean, what did he really lose? Now, I agree with you. He got the L, and his rankings are a little lower, of course. And now it might not just be the F.A. Jogba fight that he wins to get a title shot. Maybe he has to win another one again too. But it won't have to be a big guy as far as name goes. You know, so. I mean, I don't know. I guess my question is, did we think he was going to get Dubois and Usyk anyway? I guess that's my question.
Exactly.
Was he going to get Dubois and Usyk anyway?
Okay.
I think if you fought a Jogba fight and skipped the Parker fight and you beat a Jogba convincingly,
right?
You spark him,
right?
I do think that then you're in line better because look, Parker's going to have, no matter what, Parker is going to have the ability to go, I already beat your ass, man. I don't care if you took the fight on 2 days' notice. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he definitely
should have gotten in the ring with me then.
Yep. That's a fact.
So I don't got to give you a title shot. Who the hell do you think you are? I done beat your ass.
Yep. Fact.
So you give Parker that room. Plus, I saw some stuff that I didn't see before watching Bakoli. He better shore up that middle, man, because them tires around that belly.
Come on now, he had that jelly in that belly.
They were soft, man.
He had that jelly in that belly.
And that's because there's a 2-day notice fight. He hadn't been in the gym.
Which tells me he doesn't stay in the gym.
But
Joseph Parker stays in the gym. Usyk stays in the gym. All these guys stay in the Dana Dubois stays in the gym. They stay close to fight shape. And it seemed like Bakoli has been on like a 4-month vacation just at the buffet.
No, not seem like that's what his trainer said.
Well,
that's what he was.
So do you want to get these fights when you deserve them, when you're in peak condition,
or
do you want to get these fights?
But you get a training camp.
Yes, I will say this too. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go, Oscar. Let me just say this real quick, please. My pushback with that, Tech, is that now I'm not saying what you said 100% right. I always respect fighters that stay in tip-top shape, like Floyd. Seems like Canelo, obviously. You know, Caleb Plant. Those guys seem like they stay busy. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Terence Crawford. So, you know, they stay busy and stay fit. But we gotta remember, Bakoli had his first big fight against Jared Anderson in August, and I'm not saying giving an excuse to take a vacation. But if I get my biggest payday, man, I think if you're going to take a time off, man, that might be the time, you know? That's just the way I see it. You know, you got your biggest...
From August till now, you're taking a vacation?
Well, no. I'm not saying from August to February, but, I mean, if I don't know if I'm fighting, you know, so like he has some training videos, but if I don't know if I'm fighting, then, that is a long time, though. That's a long time, though. No, you're right about that.
But that ain't the shape of boxing.
No, yeah, you're right. That's a long time. But that is a long time. That's a long time. You're right about that. That's a long time.
Well, you gotta stay ready, so you gotta get ready, man.
You ain't gotta get ready, but I mean, at the same time, too, it's like you gotta stay ready and you ain't gotta get ready. But sometimes you do have to get ready, especially if you had fights and they were taken from you. You know, like the Caballel and the Zhang fight that were denied or whatever. So I don't know, man. But no, you're right. That's a long time still. I feel like he
came
should
in looking like Billy Joe Saunders after that Canelo ass whooping. Did y'all see that man blew up like
no, you're right.
Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah, facts. No, you're right about that. Yeah, I feel like he should have been at least a little bit more focused. But like I said, it's just 2 days. I can't. Now if he comes in and loses the F.A. Jogba, if he even loses the F.A. Jogba, I think it's gonna be bad. But
well, let me tell you. Let me ask you this: do you think Jogba has no chance?
No, I think he has a chance.
He has a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. The job is good. I mean, I got Bakoli, but I think he's good.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. I think he catches him with one of them hammers.
Yeah, but I think
he catches him with one of them hammers and puts him on his ass.
Yep. So I love this fight.
I don't think.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think Bakoli was fast track to any championship
I don't think so
fight
either.
anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He wasn't going to see a championship fight till potentially next year, if anything. So,
Late next year. Yeah, but
Yeah, I agree with
because
that.
you got to wait for all these other fights to play out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got
That's
to.
true.
Yeah, but he
And,
wasn't even in a contender fight.
right.
Now we got Usyk saying he's sticking around for a while. So
Yeah, I don't
and when
know.
you put the onus on him, I think another thing that we do as fans that I don't think is always accurate is we put the onus on fighters thinking that the fighter's goal is to win a world championship.
That's
Sometimes
true
the
too.
fighter's goal is to get
Get that money.
and make a better living.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
You're right
true.
about that.
If that's his goal, which I mean, somebody from the country that he's from, you feel me?
Yep.
oh yeah,
And
that was a huge payday for 2 days.
Democratic Republic of
notice.
Congo.
And
Yeah,
his
facts.
goal is to build and develop. So, what is more important? That
Yeah.
cash. He needs
Yeah.
that
Think
cash.
Because
about
the
that.
biggest
That's a good point.
paydays are world title fights. That's the biggest payday.
Not
That's true.
always.
Not exactly.
Not
Real
always.
decent
That's not
paying
true.
fighter.
Look at Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
Ah,
Ryan Garcia
okay,
got
that's
no
true.
But
Y'all both got me saying
because
that's true.
he's
That's
also-
true. That's true. That's
But
true.
God, he's also a social media star, so he has a lot of popularity that comes from outside of boxing, where most guys don't.
But that's the point, is that it's not always about a championship when
Yeah.
you're talking money.
But you're talking about the exception to the rule. The rule is
But
the
there's a
biggest
lot of fighters-
fights.
There's a lot of fighters who make more money on not getting a championship fight that they don't, you know what I mean? On the opposite, like they just literally, for example, like Norman, you would think that, like, okay, he's getting his biggest money right now,
Derek Cuevas.
technically because he's defending his championship, right?
Yeah.
But he would have got his biggest payday if he fought against Boots. But at the same time, he probably will get his biggest payday if he fought Jake Paul or somebody like that. You get what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily based off of the championship in this day and age in boxing. It's about, like you said, that popularity. Coley was.
Well, I think that's
becoming
more
popular.
that's more the case now than it used to be. But I still don't think I think it's still, you're talking about exceptions to the rule, because name me the top guys that are going to get you your biggest payday, and I guarantee you, damn near all of them have a world title.
Ishmael Davis got his biggest paydays. I bet Ishmael Davis made more than Norman Jr. I don't really care about it, but like.
No, yeah,
Norman
no,
Jr.
yeah, but that's the reality. I agree. That's a good point, and that's another short notice. But I think Ishmael Davis is a good example of why the Bacoli move wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? To what Kendrick and Oscar are saying is because, you know, Ishmael Davis he fought Josh Kelly, and then he fought on short notice, and then he just fought Sorry, Boachuk on short notice, and they're both Riyadh facilitated fights. So. Or affiliated fights, excuse me, and Turkey facilitated those fights. So I think with Bacoli doing that, I feel like he's going to be in a good position, regardless of a title. However, I do agree with you though. The majority of the money comes down the line and acquiring a title. I do agree with that part, but I do think Turkey is kind of changing that landscape, and the fact that he took this risk with Turkey. I don't think. Let's be real. I don't think he takes that if Turkey's not involved. You see what I'm saying? So I think we have to kind of consider that as well. So I do see what you're saying. Like, it kind of puts him back, but I don't, like I said, I don't think Usyk was looking to fight Dubois. I mean, Bacoli, he's just looking to fight Dubois because of the undisputed, he could reclaim undisputed, and then Dubois.
Well, yeah, he's in line for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Dubois.
He deserves it more than Bacoli does right now.
Absolutely. But Dubois, I don't think Dubois would have fought Bacoli either. Not saying that they're scared, but it's just that, you know, I think Dubois is looking for the AJ rematch or his Usyk rematch. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Dubois was really too excited to fight Joseph Parker. I'm not saying it had anything to do with him not fighting him, because I think that was legit. But he wants money or glory, which is Usyk for undisputed and glory, and then the money is an AJ rematch. So I don't think Bacoli's on any championship radar, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of this little setback. So I think when you all these, I think in generally speaking, you're correct in my opinion, Tech. But I think in this case, with these circumstances, with Turk, with the champions, you know, with Usyk and Dubois, I think Kendrick and Oscar have a very good point with this one.
If you go weight class by weight class, and you say who's the biggest money fight,
the only exception is heavyweight. Every other one is a champion. Yeah, that's what I said. That's the only exception. Yeah, AJ
in the heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a money fight. Yeah, he's a money fight. But every other division, I believe,
Canelo doesn't have a belt.
Huh?
Canelo will be the biggest money fight.
Well, he
Canelo didn't have a belt. That
yeah,
would
but
be
he
the biggest
does
money
though.
fight.
Yeah, but
So
he does have
Alright,
to. Yeah, yeah.
so
But without it,
David
yeah, I agree with you.
Benavidez. David Benavidez is a good money fight.
At light heavyweight.
Huge money fight.
Ooh,
And
nah,
and that
you
light
might be
heavyweight,
right. You might be right.
Who's making more money?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be
you're
right
right.
about light heavyweight. I forgot about that. Benavidez might be.
The managers are making more money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, light
No
heavyweight. Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, you're right about that. At light heavyweight is kind of starless.
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's
no, that's
all
a good
because
point.
of his
Yeah,
popularity, his
Yeah.
stature, and his fan base.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not always the case that the belt is gonna get you the bag.
Yeah,
I forgot about
I
light
see
heavyweight.
that. I got a question though. So Bacoli, when did he fight Parker again? What day was that? That was
February
like, what?
22nd.
February, yeah.
And
And he's supposed to be fighting in May, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna be ready because if he wasn't is he gonna be able to get in shape that fast? If he wasn't in shape,
I think so. Yeah. 12, you get about 12 weekend.
Well, how
man ain't gonna be ready, man.
how long did you take off after that Parker fight before you got right back into camp too?
Well,
Yeah, so-
according to
was
his
he
social
playing
media, he was back in camp immediately. So according to him,
Who's this? Was camp consist of Eden?
I'm oh yeah, that I don't know. So yeah.
Eating and dancing, bro. You seen the video?
Yeah. And actually, it's more like a 8 week or more like maybe like a 9 week camp, maybe because it was at the end of February. He's fighting at the beginning of May, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's enough time. Yeah, I feel like that's enough time for him to get ready.
I think so.
Is usually a good
I-
enough time for
Yeah, I think
fighters
so.
in general.
Yeah, I think so.
I generally think 10 to 12
seemed
weeks.
like he was already ready. It seemed like he was just starting camp.
Yeah, no, I prefer the 10 to 12 week. I prefer 12 week.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah, but some
For
do
sure.
the 8 weeks. Yeah, no, I think he'll be ready for FA job. But I think
Bro, look at Jesus Ramos, bro.
We've seen quicker turnarounds. Yeah, exactly.
But I will say this though, the difference. But this is the text point though, and Clone's point. Jesus Ramos was already in shape though. Jesus Ramos was coming off of a fight that he was preparing for, and then he went to another fight that he prepared for. So that's different.
Yep.
And that's kind of a testament. Jesus Ramos is kind of a testament to what Tech and Clone is saying because Bacoli's coming out of shape, looking out of shape, and then trying to get in shape. Jesus Ramos was at least already in shape. Because who did he fight? Was it Jason Rosario?
Dropping weight.
Yeah, he's not dropping weight. That's true. He doesn't have a weight restriction or a limit that he has to get to. So
Let's talk about Haney, y'all. I want to talk about Devin.
no, let's get
Did
it.
y'all see that sparring footage
No sparring footage. I didn't see it.
I missed
from
that.
camp? So he's still doing the bow and arrow thing, man. Bad. The hand's even lower now.
Oh man.
It's bad.
Hopefully
It's even lower now.
Hopefully it's a
I watched
strategic
it.
post.
Strategic sparring, trying to trick him.
Yeah, try to trick us. Yeah, hopefully. I gotta check
I
it
just
out.
see that bad. That's a bad habit, man. And
I never understood the releasing your Spartan footage. Like I never understood the point of doing that.
Yeah.
unless you're trying to play tricks, which I don't understand why you would even want to do that. He's going to figure out you're tricking him the first time you hold the phone, and he can't hit you with it.
Right.
And you're gonna be like, oh well, he fixed that. I gotta,
Right.
go with something else. But he did it too many times for I don't know, man. It looked like natural to me, like it always had
Yeah.
been. And
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, if he does that with Ramirez is gonna clip that chin.
Yeah. He's a good fighter,
He's-
man. He's a good fighter.
Ramirez ain't no punk, man.
Nope.
Ramirez is a better boxer than Ryan Garcia.
Oh, absolutely. Skill wise, yeah. I thought Ramirez was gonna beat. I had Ramirez beating Barbosa. I was really impressed with Barbosa in that fight. I thought Ramirez was gonna win. Going in.
So
why do y'all think Haney took this fight against Ramirez coming off that Ryan loss? I never understood that. When I heard that, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be somebody. In fact, I thought it was gonna be somebody like a Rolly. He would be fighting just to show, like, I'll fight somebody else with power and
somebody that he can box his ears off, man, and move and look good against.
But the reason why I like this fight is because I think he's gonna do that. Or at least is what I like Ramirez. So if Ramirez wins, I want to be mad because I like them both. But I'm just rooting for Haney, and I hope that he. I think
I'll
he
be
can
mad. I
box
want
him.
that Ryan rematch.
Yeah,
man.
true,
I'm pulling
true.
for Haney's
Yeah.
rematch against Ryan, man.
Yeah, I think that I think he's good enough to outbox Ramirez, and I think that if he does that, then I think that it will show us, okay, bet, man, he might come in there with another mentality. And he can really remind us that he could outbox Ryan Garcia. Which is what a lot of people thought he was going to do the first time. So I actually like this fight, man, because I don't think anybody can say anything if he wins. If he loses, of course, we can say everything. But I think if he wins, I don't think nobody can say anything.
Yeah, that's what Bill
I
was
don't
saying.
even think
Bill.
he has to. You don't have to stop him either. He just gotta look good outboxing.
Oh yeah. Yep. What you say, Kendrick? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bill was saying that he was the best competition that was available at the time.
Yep.
During when he was making the fight, that would accept the fight. So I mean, I can't knock him for taking the best man that he could find in the moment.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No, I definitely. I think it's crazy, but I mean, it's impressive to to take on somebody of that caliber, coming off a loss like that, and not just coming off a loss, but what it did to him, what it seemed to do to him mentally and spiritually, and it fucked him up.
We exaggerating that. Everybody's exaggerating that. Haney walked out the ring. He did not get knocked out. He, you know what I mean? Like, he won a lot of rounds in that fight.
He did win a lot of rounds in that fight.
Yeah.
People make it seem, he got clipped. But people get clipped. That's what happens. And once you get clipped once, it's easier to get clipped again.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he walked out of that ring. He stood up. He never, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Got finished. So when people say, "Oh, he was so demoralizing," stuff like that, no. Wilder getting knocked out by Fury, that was demoralizing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
man,
spun around by
that
Zane.
40-pound weight on.
That's
not
crazy. Well, I will say this too, though. To piggyback off of Kendrick, I am worried, but I'm hoping it is in my head because, if, people are, and another false narrative that people are saying is like, oh, Devin Haney's a sore loser. But Devin Haney congratulated Ryan after he lost. I don't understand. It's just when he came out with the PED stuff. But what I do agree with Tech
against a cheat.
Right, exactly. And he congratulated the man. He didn't know he was cheating initially. He says, "Hey, he was a better man that night." But I am worried though, and I'm not saying that it's off of merit or whatever. But I'm worried for everybody. So I'm worried to see how Tszyu bounced back. It's not just a Devin Haney thing. So I agree with Kendrick. If you're just making it seem like that's different. But if you're just making it seem like, oh, it's a Devin Haney thing, I think that's messed up. But I think that you should be. I'm worried about Errol Spence how he gonna look too. I'm worried about anybody who gets brutalized like that. I'm worried to see them bounce back. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that's a legitimate concern. But like Kendrick said, Devin Haney did walk out that ring. You know what I'm saying? And Errol Spence, he didn't.
Oh, he showed. He showed he has a chin. I hate that whole he don't have no chin thing. That makes me mad. I'm like, what are you talking about? He got up every time.
Right. Yeah, but I am worried.
He got up every time. That's true.
Every time.
What'd you say, Kendrick?
I'm saying he got more heart than a lot of these boxes. Like 90% of these boxes, they cannot get up.
Yeah, I don't get the knock on him when it comes to that stuff, man. I don't go. I don't know why people go there with him because I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
your ass wouldn't have got up after that first knockdown.
I'm telling you.
Yep. And you put him with somebody
I wouldn't have.
I'm telling you. I mean, look
at put him against somebody else. They say, oh, they got heart. They got heart. They
right.
got heart. But
exactly. Bro, I mean, look what just happened to Derek Quavos. Can you imagine that happened to Devin Haney? If Devin Haney stopped fighting after the jab. Brian Norman made Derek Quavos reconsider life with a jab.
So I should have gone to dental school.
I should have went. Yeah, exactly. Should have been a dental hygienist, man. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you're right. When there's certain fighters, like Tech said, you're gonna get your chin's gonna get questioned, or what Kendrick said, your heart's gonna get questioned, or whatever. You're gonna get questioned. But there's certain fighters that people don't like, or you're looking for something, man. I mean, people, like I said, he finished. Errol Spence didn't finish the fight. I mean, the referee stopped it, but he didn't finish the fight. What's the name? Who was the other guy? Tszyu didn't finish the fight. Like Devin Haney finished the fight with the guy PD. Yeah, he didn't finish the fight against Tank. Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That is a chin. A chin is you didn't ring my bell enough to make me get up, and then you immediately put me back down, and put me out. Heart will get you up off the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And you might get clipped again and go to sleep. A lot of people do it. We've seen many people get up off the mat with heart after getting rocked, and then get sparked 30 seconds later and get put to sleep. He kept getting knocked down and kept getting up. So that's heart and chin.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. That's a good point because how many times we watching the fight and we be like, oh, man, don't get up too fast. Don't get up too fast. You know what I'm saying? Because then the guy's just going to rush you and then put you to sleep. Like you say, check that chin again. Yeah, you got to just try to,
shake it off.
Yeah,
give yourself as much chance to shake it off as you can and clear the cobwebs.
Yep. So that's a good point.
That's why they have a standing 8 count. Take all 8 seconds, man.
For real.
Nobody say Ryan Garcia don't got no heart, and he sat on his knee.
Yeah.
Off a body shot.
It's just
From a
funny,
body
man.
shot.
Do y'all feel like Devin Haney is a better boxer than Ryan Garcia?
Better boxer? Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
God,
absolutely.
it's night and that's not even.
So
Anybody who says that.
So why do y'all feel like Ryan gonna win again? I don't feel like he gonna.
I do. I don't know if anybody agrees with me. I think Ryan's gonna win again.
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong, but
Until he corrects that bow and arrow, he's gonna keep catching that left hook. That's why you can't hold your hand. You can't hold your hand down that far. You got to hold the phone when you're throwing that jab, or you leave yourself open for that left hook every time. And it's not everybody in boxing would be able to catch him with that left hook. But one of the fastest hands in boxing with the left hook, Ryan Garcia, definitely can.
Right.
He already did it.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. In the sparring footage I saw, I was like, oh, shit.
You think he's gonna be that fast off PEDs?
Well, see, but that's the thing, though.
I think he'll be just as fast. I really do. I think that's natural. That's naturally given to
That's
him.
natural. Yeah,
But this is the thing, though. Like, so with the I feel like I can't separate those two, right? So that was a PED hook. However, I thought that Ryan Garcia had that to beat him going into the fight. And it's not just about his power for me, from my perspective. It's Devin Haney's stiffness, bro. He's not a slick fighter, bro. When he gets hit flush. I don't care if it's Lomachenko. I don't care if it's Cambosis. I don't care if it's Jorge Linares. Exactly. I don't care who it is.
Had that boy on Bambi legs walking back to the corner.
Right. So right. So when you watch Tank versus Ryan Garcia, how did Tank beat him? He countered him, and he slipped a lot of his punches. He didn't stop the left hook. He just made sure the left hook didn't connect. And so with Devin Haney, that's why I always felt like with Devin Haney, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Even if he blocking, bro, that left hook gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Even if he has his hands, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna help, of course. But that's why I always thought that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia was tough. Not because Devin Haney's not a better boxer. It's just I never really see him evade shots like that. Like he's not a defensive fighter, in my opinion. He's kind of stiff. That's all I always felt. That's why I think Ryan Garcia in the rematch. But no, I hope I'm wrong.
He's not moving.
Right. And I hope I'm wrong. But like usually he keeps people away with his jab and he outboxes you.
Right.
But Ryan Garcia he comes forward on everybody. I don't care if it's Oscar
His
Duarte.
head don't come
I
off
don't care
the
if it's
line, though.
exactly. Yeah, right. He's not a good fundamentally. No, he's not good technically or fundamentally, but he's gonna come at you. And I don't know. You feel me?
Yep.
So I don't know if you're
If
gonna be
your
able to
head
stop
don't
him.
come off the line, then you better have your hands up.
Right.
Because you're going to be taking some shots, and they're going to be trying to wrap it around. So you got to be holding that phone, and then you open yourself up for the 0-1-2.
Excuse me real quick.
Down the middle.
Excuse me real quick, Kendrick. I'm gonna let you go. Let me shout this super chat. Big Dog Willie coming through with that bread, that cheese, that butter.
Big Dog Willie.
He said, "I'm gonna let Kendrick finish his thought, and I'm gonna get to your message. Go ahead. I just want to let you know I saw it. Go ahead, Kendrick."
The only thing I disagree about is that like the bow and arrow thing. I think that wasn't the issue. The issue was Haney pressing forward and letting Ryan Garcia counter.
I agree.
So if Haney comes with a different game plan and actually just balances things out and doesn't push forward and look for a knockout, I think Haney cooks him and washes him.
And that's a great point.
Because at the end of the day, Haney is the better boxer. He has more range. He can throw that jab and not get hit if he's not moving forward.
Okay, but see that part I disagree with right there is because, but then again, you gotta remember, like I said, I'm the one. I thought Ryan Garcia would beat him the first time. You know, I put money on him. But the reason why I think that's because I don't think that he can stop a guy from coming forward like Ryan Garcia. I don't. And that's where the physicality comes in.
Not with a jab.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's yeah. It's not really just the power. It's just. It's not even just the power. It's just I don't know if he throws like. I don't know. Like even a combination, like something to deter. You have to deter Ryan Garcia from coming. Like I say, like even with Tank was hitting him a couple times, but until Ryan Garcia ain't stopped coming until he stopped. Like he was stopped.
Yeah.
So it's like.
You got to be able to reset him.
Right,
right.
Ryan, that part.
You're done.
Right.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna get it. He's gonna get to you at least.
Right. And so like for example, like Regis Prograis, Regis Prograis being so much smaller with a shorter reach, he could stop him with the jab and reset him and 1-2 him and stop him from coming in and make him think about it. And I thought it was very important when he put him on his back. I think that was in the second round or third round when he dropped Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis was like, dang, that didn't hurt. But it still surprised me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting that. He caught him. I don't know if he could do that with somebody who's his size. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see, man. I definitely don't think he could put Ryan Garcia on his back from something like that. And I think that's what he would have to do to stop Ryan Garcia from coming forward. But
another point is, if you want to beat Haney, you have to go forward. You have to be the one moving forward.
Yeah, I think so.
And we've seen Haney get rocked by lesser punchers.
Yeah, he don't want to exchange.
When Haney wasn't moving forward, he wasn't moving forward. He wasn't going forward against Linares when he got clipped like that.
Yeah, he shouldn't exchange either.
And
I agree with
Kendrick. Stepped all the way back to the corner.
Oh yeah.
And we let's just say if there was another 10 or 15 seconds in that round,
Ooh.
that fight might have turned out very differently.
Yep. Let me answer Big Dog Willie's question. He said, "Do you think Tank is going to fight Zepeda next?" I made a video about it, man. I wouldn't be mad at it. Do I think so? I think he's going to do the Lamont Roach fight next. But I mean, something suspicious is going down, man. Whenever you see, like I said in the video, bro, Zepeda is an interim champion for the WBC. Whenever you see somebody ranked in another sanctioned body and they're a full champion, interim champion, regular champion, recess, something suspicious is brewing. And he's ranked. Not only is he ranked in the WBA, he's ranked #1. So something. What I think is going to happen. I think Tank is going to fight the Lamont Roach rematch. At least I hope so, on June 21st. And I think that Zepeda is going to relinquish his interim belt and fight Schofield for a title eliminator, because that fight's easy to facilitate since they're both on the same promotional company, both Golden Boy. And then I think the winner of that will fight Tank. That's what maybe I'm hoping for that, but that's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think, but I don't know. And maybe that's what you're thinking too, because Zepeda and Schofield, I just don't know how much. I know Oscar was upset about the Schofield pullout, because especially when he advised him not to take the Shakur fight in the first place, and then he took it and then pulled out. I know he was upset about that. So I don't know. I think maybe he might just go ahead and sacrifice him to Zepeda. I don't know. Or maybe he wants to keep him because he wants to keep his stars too. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good question though, Big Dog. I think we could get it next, but I think we're gonna get the Tank. I hope we get the Tank in the Roach fight next, because I would be disappointed in Tank if he doesn't fight Roach again.
You better not fight Roach again.
But
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, but they are having issues, right, with contract negotiations. According to Roach, he wants more money, and I mean, I don't blame him. But, always get whatever you feel you deserve. But yeah, that's the scenario that is gonna work. Who that?
Ben Whitaker.
Oh yeah, he also had an issue. Yeah, it was a 12-round, 10-round thing. I saw that. He said that seems likely. Yeah, running. That's what I think, running. But I'm not sure. He said Pilar says.
Leave that alone.
Nah, I think you got to fight that, bro. You can't leave that alone. That's weak.
Yeah, you better be weak then.
Why you say that? Why you say that? He's not gonna beat him, is he?
Nah, you gotta fight that again, bro. You can't do that, bro.
You don't think Tank can beat Roach, do you?
Bro, I really feel like Roach don't fear his power at all.
Nope.
I feel like Roach is like, man, I really feel like Roach really feels like he could actually beat him.
Yep,
that's
a good
in there with him.
Yep.
But beat him.
Yep.
I feel like
I love that.
We finally saw maybe Tank's kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw Tank's kryptonite in that
that's
fight.
Why you got to go get him.
Like you said, he was not bothered by anything Tank hit him with.
Yep.
And now you got that confidence moving forward. This guy can't hurt me.
Yep.
Bro, it's
so I'm gonna
Tarver
take
and
more
Roy Jones all over again, man. I feel like.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that, Tarver Roy Jones. I like that.
I'm telling you, bro. Leave that alone. You got the Georges going. Take that on and don't even think about it no more.
Nah, you got to go get that again, bro. I'll be disappointed.
Bro, ain't nobody even going to even think about that fight no more.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, people forget. People won't think about it. You're right. I agree. I think. Oh, go ahead, Kendra. What you say?
I think it depends on who he fights next. He better make it somebody that takes the attention away.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
Zepeda.
We're gonna go. Why you
better be Shakur?
No. Zepeda will suffice. Zepeda will suffice.
You think Zepeda will
absolutely, absolutely.
Tank sparks him.
Yeah. But I'm saying as far as to make people forget. I think at least until that fight is over with. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, it's boxing, right? We know the sport likes to capitalize on the racial divide, and you know that. So it'll be a Mexican versus a Black American. Come on, man.
Yep.
That's a recipe.
You know why it's not gonna work? You know why it's not gonna work? Because it's gonna fall into the narrative that Tank only fights Mexican fighters. Fuck out of here.
He do.
No, yeah.
Like Mexican fighters.
Right. But that's already the narrative that's there, and he's the biggest.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the biggest. No, I agree. No, I agree. I'm just saying that you're right. But I mean, that hasn't stopped anything before. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't think it's gonna stop it now. You know, that's been the narrative that's already existed. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you. But I just, like I said, I want him to fight Lamont Roach because I'm gonna hold him against him. But what I'm afraid of if he doesn't fight Lamont Roach next is that he never fights Lamont Roach, and I would hate for that.
No, it won't happen. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think you're right about that.
Yeah. That's why.
Tank is not fighting Lamont Roach again, and Bivol definitely not fighting Better Be again. So.
That's a wrap.
You just got to come to terms.
We
with
just
it,
gotta
man.
accept it.
Yeah,
Yo, Ray Davis in the building. Big member in the building. Yes, sir. My brother right there, man. Check out my boy Ray Davis and Claymore Rain, man. At this point, Productions, you know, that YouTube channel is fire, man. Check him out, man. Good brother right there, man. I'm surrounded by good brothers, you know. So shout out to all y'all. Go ahead, Oscar.
If that don't happen by this year, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen after this year, I don't want to see it either.
But
no,
I think
it's gotta happen next.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
I think he should move on to the next guy. You know, Michael Eifert. He's been there. He's been called already.
Stop it, Oscar. Oscar, stop it, bro. Stop it.
What?
Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro.
He's the next one in line, bro.
He deserves it. Yes, he deserves. You do not want to see it. Stop it, bro. You said you think he should move on, but stop it, bro. Nobody thinks he should move on to Michael Eifert. He deserves it, of course. Stop it, bro. You don't want to see that fight, bro. Stop it, bro.
But all the narrative saying that Benavidez deserves it and that he's the next guy because he's unified and whatever.
True. I'm with you on that. He's not next. Michael Eifert is definitely next. That's a fact for the IBF. Facts.
Yeah. So
should be.
Yeah, he got paid step aside money.
Yeah,
he got.
I'm just saying what people are regurgitating about Benavidez.
No, you're right about that.
One, and that he deserves it.
No,
that's silly.
Yeah, that's
voided and
no.
So you know, I'm just keeping the same energy all of the channels are doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. You're right. Benavidez does not deserve. Well, okay, he deserves it, but not, when we talk about in comparison relative to others, Michael Eifert definitely deserves. He's the one that, if it wasn't for Michael Eifert allowing that fight, the second fight would not have been for undisputed. So that's a fact. Michael Eifert deserves it more than what's the name? He's the most deserving of it, of course. He was the one that was already called. But I ain't gonna lie. If they skipped him, I would be mad.
I would.
If Benavidez got his shot, I wouldn't be mad. But you're right, though. Yeah. He definitely the most deserving.
If you give him a good step aside money,
yeah,
you know,
break him off a little bit.
Yeah, then of course I want to see Benavidez in the ring with him before I want to see Eifert. But Eifert definitely deserves the shot.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I'm a firm believer. I'm with you on that.
He's been sitting there waiting.
Facts. So yeah, definitely give him what he's owed. And people are saying that Benavidez deserves it. No, Bivol not ducking Benavidez. Viterbi is not ducking Benavidez. Stop it, man. Ain't nobody ducking Benavidez. He knew what he was getting into.
No,
he knew what he was getting into, bro. And if he didn't, that's a shame. Because I knew, Oscar knew, Tech knew. Everybody in here knew. Kendrick knew. Everybody, Clone knew. Everybody knew that he was not next. So just because people want this, you feel me? Rest in peace. I mean, abuela, you know, both are abuelas actually. But yeah, exactly. Everybody knew that. So if you didn't know that you were getting yourself into a situation where you have to wait, then I mean that's your fault, man. You got to be ignorance is bliss for kids. If you know what I'm saying, so that's not an excuse. You're an adult, man. You're supposed to know this is your business, man. You're supposed to know that.
You got to get in there and climb the ladder like everybody else that's been in the division has been doing. Right. You can't just step in going, yeah, I'm the man. You got to prove it. You're in a new weight class, dude.
He could have been. He could have been the man. He just had to fight Michael Eifert, but he don't want to go through that IBF.
I see. Okay, I see where you're going. Okay, he don't want to go to that rehydration clause. Yep. I see where you're going. Okay. I got you.
See, and that you might be right about that, Oscar, because you know he's always had
a weight bully.
Trouble with weight. He's always had trouble with weight.
He's Devin Haney. Devin
Haney's a weight bully. Bro, yes, bro. I don't. You know, shout out to my guy Tech. I don't be understanding like we as a whole, like as boxing fan, not me or Kendrick or Tech or anybody individually, but like we will say weight bully like it's like cheat. It's not cheating, bro. It's just that,
I don't use that term.
Right.
When I do, I say it's part of boxing.
It's part of boxing, right?
That are big, and if you want the rules to be fair across the board, then you make the rule for every sanctioning body has to have that rehydration clause,
right?
Or you shut the fuck up,
right?
Because you can't do nothing about it. The rules are the rules.
Exactly. So it's a tactic that is used, you know. And the reason why I say Devin Haney, in my opinion, Devin Haney, Janabek Alimkanuli, David Benavidez, they're weight bullies, but at least Devin Haney is a consummate professional all the time. He never missed weight. But David Benavidez hasn't been missing weight lately. But that is a tactic that they employ. But it's not cheating by any means, but it is a tactic that they use. They come in there and they're trying to be bigger than the other guys.
It's
and if you want to stop it,
tax. It's like using tax loops when you're filing your taxes.
Exactly.
It's like using it's no different.
Right. So that's a good point.
If you want me to not be a weight bully, then change the damn rules.
Yep. Or, you know,
I'm gonna do it until you say I can't.
It's in the IBF.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but
that's a good point. He
taking
probably did
off
avoid the
that-
IBF because of that. That's a good point, Oscar.
Taking off the text of what you just said, it's like, well, if you don't, then don't complain when you're not the first one in line.
That's right. That goes hand in hand.
Yep. You're right about that. I agree with you 1,000% on that. Yo, what's good? 2 cents. 2 cents in the building. One time for the queens of boxing. I'm talking about from participants, observers, all of them. Shout out to all ladies in boxing, man.
Hey,
if we are looking
King
for the next
Kong.
opponent for Bivol, it's Efer. As for Tank, we already said, Michael Efer should have been. He inherited that one from Berturbia. He said, as for Tank, PBC has to dig through his crate full of fires and put Chris Primetime Cobra. Stop it. Let me leave Chris alive. He said, Big Dog Willie Tank is not fighting to pay the neck. That makes 0 sense. Canelo calling Benavidez a weight bully. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, bro, that's the thing. When people try to say like, "Oh, these things aren't true because you like Benavidez or you dislike Canelo, or vice versa, you like Canelo or dislike," hey, bro, you can be objective, bro. Like Benavidez, that's what he does. It's okay. You know, there's nothing. He's not breaking the rules. It's not like he's cheating or anything like that. That's what the sanctioned body that he's in allows. So he's taking advantage of all the rules that's afforded to him. What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing wrong with if I'm Canelo or anybody. If you're a boxing observer, to say, "Hey, man, this guy comes in big." You know what I'm saying? He comes in big. That's a tactic.
Hey, we just heard Bud Crawford in an interview, and they asked him about Benavidez at 168, and he was like, "No, that's a big dude. Like, no, like, no, not with that." But I promise you, you give the rehydration clause.
That's the thing.
Bud will consider that fight.
That's what gets on my nerves right there. What you just said. People will get mad at people for being a weight bully, but then they'll get mad at people for implementing a rehydration clause. You just want to complain. Which one do you want?
Yeah, that's weird as hell. You can't get mad at
both ways
and then mad at the other as well.
Both ways, clone. They'll talk trash about somebody being a weight bully, but they'll talk trash about somebody's weak for implementing a rehydration clause. The IBF literally has their own rehydration clause. They're a sanctioned body. That's why some people avoid it, and that's what Oscar was talking about in regards to Dave Benavidez and Michael Efer, you know, and I think he's right about that. He's talking about fighting Callum Smith. I mean, if you want the next shot, go fight Michael Efer.
So if we're gonna call Canelo a duck for not fighting Benavidez at 168, Crawford just told you, and he's what, top 3 pound for pound fighter in the world. He said, "Nah, I ain't fighting that dude at 168 either." Now, if you gave rehydration clauses, I don't know. I think both of them will fight him. But they both know that Benavidez, first of all, he ain't coming back down to 168.
Yeah, I don't think he does. Yeah, I don't think
he won't win. He won't win. You can't do that. We saw Roy Jones do that. We've seen too many people do that, man. Take off the muscle after they put it on, and to try to come back down. And I just don't see it, man.
Yeah, Crawford. You said Crawford fight Benavidez, man. He'll go to sleep. He better not fight.
I don't like that fight. But I think Bud would do it. If with the rehydration clause, I think he would.
Hell no.
He better not.
I mean, no. I mean, you might be right that he right, but there's no point of that. I mean, he going for Canelo for money and legacy. Yeah. Don't fight that. Hell no.
He thinks he can beat Canelo. He believes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Canelo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He believes it.
Yeah, money and legacy. That's why I said money and legacy. Yep. I think he can. I don't think he does. I think he can though. Yeah, I mean, Terence Crawford's a phenomenal fighter.
There's definitely a path to victory for him for sure. It's Bud Crawford.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Canelo.
No, I think I got Canelo as the favorite. I don't think Bud beats him.
I don't think it's no path to victory for Bud to beat Canelo.
Oh really?
I do. I think it's the Bivol recipe, man. You just stay away from him and constantly pumping them jabs and straights at his ass. If you can jab and straight and move in and out. I mean, and if you have enough pop to keep Canelo, Bivol was just resetting Canelo. We were just talking about that. That's all he did over and over.
Bivol is a much bigger fighter than Canelo.
There you go. There you go.
But when you got,
that's a big difference.
When you got pop in both hands.
I don't know if he got pop like that. He might have that snap and crackle. I don't know if he got that pop.
Everybody thinks Canelo is winning this fight, right? Because I think Canelo wins.
Yes. No, Kendrick got
Cannelo's got.
Nah, Kendrick got Bud. Kendrick got Bud. Nah, Kendrick got Bud.
Oh, Kendrick got Bud. Oh, for why?
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad choice.
I
don't think it's a bad. Yeah,
it's a bad choice either. But I want to know his reason.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
I think Bud is more athletic, accurate. He can move better. I think Bud gonna show you. You said what?
I don't know.
I mean, what has especially recently.
Mhm.
Now, if we talking younger Canelo, I'll probably lean a little bit more towards younger Canelo.
Mhm.
If it's probably happened maybe 10 years ago,
Mm.
but
Yeah, if it was
right
Daniel
now,
Jacobs Canelo, it'd be a shutdown, you know. But like you're saying, like recent Canelo.
Mhm. I agree.
yeah,
I think
recent
what
Canelo, he's
Well, that,
he's a
go ahead.
walker down. He's gonna walk you down.
Mhm.
He's gonna sway side to side a little bit, but he's really on his peekaboo shit right now.
Mhm.
So I think Bud picks that apart.
Mm.
We saw Magic
Can
Mike try
I,
to do the peekaboo. He
can
picked
I
that
ask you a
apart.
question?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Is he doing
I
that
don't know, man.
for
That's a
weight
good
class
argument
he's
though.
at?
Say it again,
Like,
Oscar.
Like,
Oscar.
I just,
Oscar again.
I just want to hear Kendrick's opinion because I never talked to somebody who had, but you know, I just want to hear Kendrick's opinion on this. Do you think he's doing that style because he don't need to do anything else at the weight class he's at because everybody else is so much bigger, or you really
Excuse me.
think he's that slow or that flat-footed?
um,
It could be both. It could be both. Don't get me wrong.
Against Caleb Plant, he fought that way, and Caleb Plant is like a slicker style fighter. So I think
Yeah.
that's part of just who Canelo grew to be now.
Mhm.
Because Canelo to me was never the slickest fighter to me.
Nah.
He had movement, he had head movement, he had great head movement.
Head movement.
Yeah.
But
I'll say
that was
say
really it.
upper
Feet
torso
was steady.
altogether. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his feet was steady, but his head movement was like, really good. But as you get bigger, as you get more muscle, as you get more, you know what I mean, stocky, that kind of like tightens up a little bit. So I
the
think
same would be
that
true for Bud then.
I was just about to say that because
to a certain extent.
he getting hella
So the twitch
stocky.
muscle, you think Bud's twitch muscles, which we all know are phenomenal at the weight classes he's been in, are going to be those same twitch, and he's going to have the same quick response
Of
times
course
and
not.
everything with that much more
It's
muscle
not
on
about
him?
that. It's not about the response time. It's not about the twitch muscle for me. It's about the IQ and the knowledge and the ring IQ and the spacing. So Bud is a master of spacing also. Like, what do you think Shakur learned how to do that? Like that's the
Canelo.
master. You feel me? Canelo is the master of cutting off the ring. So it's gonna be a chess match in that. You get what I'm saying? And I think Bud wins that chess.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think people are making it seem like it's gonna be a slugfest, but which is I don't
believe that. No. It ain't gonna be no Rocky Balboa fight.
Yeah.
No way. Neither one of those guys wants to do that because they know that's how a fight ends quickly. So Kendrick, you're saying as long as Bud can outbox Canelo, he's gonna have to do it for 12 rounds, though, right? You don't see Bud stopping Canelo, right?
I think it's possible too. And this is why I say it's possible. Bud stopped people who we didn't think was gonna get stopped, right? And Bud stopped people off of accuracy. Everybody got a button.
Yeah, the accuracy is crazy though.
Canelo's weakness in his fighting style is an uppercut. If you throw a good uppercut at Canelo was getting cracked. So and straight down the middle, those straights down the middle. Any hooks, you're not really gonna hit Canelo with hooks. So I think Bud has the team that's gonna develop the game plan where he knows
that part I agree with. That team.
I'm gonna throw this. He's gonna move this way, and I'm gonna hit him here. That's to me gonna be the difference.
You think he really have that type of power to hurt Canelo, even though we haven't seen him hurt in a while?
It's not always about power. It's about speed and
no, I agree with Kendrick.
That's true.
That point. Like the way to make up for power from power that you don't have, especially at the weight class, it'd be like at 168. I'm not talking about Bud's career. Like at 168, is accuracy and speed. If you're accurate with your punches, you can make up for that.
Timing is
yeah,
I think that's
that's true. That's true.
Even though I think they're more valid now. But the same arguments that's being made now, the same arguments that were made for Spence. Oh, Spence is gonna break him down. Spence is gonna hit him in the body.
I agree with that.
Do all these things.
And what did Bud do? More skilled
and no, that's why I said it's more valid now because I think Canelo's a better boxer than Spence.
Absolutely.
But I think that people still are underestimating what Bud can do and how accurate he is and how strategic.
I think in my personal opinion, I hear what Kendrick is saying. I agree. Of course, y'all know I got Canelo, but the difference is, and I think the best what you just I mean, you said a lot of good points, but I definitely agree with that. I think people are making the assessment they made for Spence and Bud is more applicable now with Canelo and Bud.
Absolutely.
But the thing I would say is the difference is that I'm so glad you brought that up, is because even in the Spence fight, I said Spence had no trouble getting to Crawford. It's just he had trouble hurting Crawford. I don't think Bud was. I don't think Canelo's gonna have a problem hurting Bud.
That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah,
do we really think Bud is gonna be able to take Canelo's power for 12 rounds?
I think he will, because I know Bud spars with dudes bigger than Canelo, and also, I think that Bud is gonna be more wary of that power compared to what he was with Spence. I feel like he went to Spence fight knowing he's not gonna hurt me, so I'm not worried about it.
It did look like that. Like
Because
he wasn't worried about his power at all.
Bud does get hit, guys.
Man.
Bud gets
yeah,
hit.
Absolutely, yeah, he does.
Bud is willing to get hit. He's willing to give up one or two to give you three.
And that's what I think is gonna happen. I think Bud is gonna get hit, and then it's gonna turn into an exchange that he don't really want to be in.
Right.
Nope. I see it going that way too. I think eventually Bud's gonna be forced to exchange more often than he wants to.
Yep.
And like I don't think it will be a starching. I think it'll be an accumulation thing. Late in the fight,
right? But the part I agree with Kendrick though, I like what he said was the fact that team, man. I think, and not to mention Bud. I think that Bud is one of the most, if not, I'll say probably the most intelligent. Him and Usyk probably top 2 intelligent fighters in the ring. So I think if anybody can make a game plan, I think it's them, you know. But it's just what he said about. He said another part where he said that Bud stopped people that we didn't think he was gonna stop. He stopped Spence. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but everybody else, you know, when he dropped Porter, that was impressive. But even with that, it's like, I think, was it Tech that said it, or maybe I said, I don't know, about Terence Crawford. He's great because he's a dog. Like, he's always outdogged you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's gonna finesse you or outbox you. Not saying he's not capable of that, but I'm just saying that's just what he doesn't exhibit that in his fights. Not any 41 of them. Anybody can show me all 41 fights, plethora of fights to choose from. Show me where he's finessing you or picking you apart. Like, I mean, he's gonna counter you, time you, and stuff like that. But he usually gets in exchanges. And I think that's gonna be his downfall, because I think Canelo is. I like Canelo to be able to take one and give one, and Terence Crawford may not be able to handle it. But if anybody can, you know, it's Terence. That's why it's intriguing. That's why it's intriguing.
And will Canelo give Bud 2 so he can land one?
Right.
Will he say, "Come on in with that. Hit me twice. You better be able to hurt me with it. Otherwise, you're gonna catch one coming back."
Yeah.
And I like the team conversation. I like the team conversation because Bud's got the more cerebral team, but I feel like Canelo's got the more adaptable team to where they can change on the fly.
It's not just the team. The fighter still has to implement the game plan, and that's what Bud is. There may not be anybody better. He goes in there with the game plan and he executes it to perfection without question.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be interesting.
But I will say, I do think what Oscar said, the adaptability. I personally think that it's exaggerated how flat-footed Canelo is. I do think that what Oscar says right on point. I think Canelo fights that way because not because he has to, as many people think, it's just because he doesn't have. No one makes him not fight that way where he won't be successful. It's like he's usually a smaller guy. He has to, you know, he's not fighting against guys that are agile. And even with Caleb Plant, even when Caleb Plant was picking him apart as a more, let's admit, like Caleb Plant at the high points of that fight, he looked like the better technically sound fighter because that's what he's great at, you know what I'm saying? And he is slick. But even Canelo was able to get him out of there, you know? So I think that, and I'm sorry, I could be wrong about this because this is where precision comes in. I don't think that Terence Crawford hits harder than Caleb Plant. I don't think he hits harder than anybody at 168. That's a contender. But that's where the precision comes in, right? You know, when you accurate timing, hit somebody when they're not expecting it, that's gonna hurt the worst. But I just don't think that Canelo. And hopefully he's not approaching it how I think, but I just don't think that Canelo has anything to be afraid of, you know, and hopefully he's not approaching it like that, which I don't think he is.
He approach it like that, he gonna be.
If he approaches like that, he gonna get cooked. Yeah, he might get cooked, but I don't think he will. Yeah, he won't approach it like that, but I'm just saying, like, because, I mean, just think about it, like Tech said, what did Tech said he has to fight like? He has to fight like Bivol. He can't fight like Bivol. And vice versa, Bivol can't fight like Bud. Right,
the same game plan. You gotta be able to outland him, and stay away from him.
Right, and he can't. I'm sorry, no disrespect, and it's not disrespectful, but I think Bivol's the best at that in the game right now. The agility type, you know, say moving around, quickness type. I don't think that's something you could just do if you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same with Bud. I don't think anybody could just implement Bud's timing. If you don't do that, you're not just gonna do that. So so I don't think he's the most agile person he fought, because that'd be Bivol. I don't think he's the hardest hitting puncher he fought, because that'd be Triple G. I don't think he's the biggest person he fought, because that'd probably be Berlanga or somebody like that. I don't think he's the fastest person he fought, because that'd probably be Floyd or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's the hardest person to hit. That'd be Floyd again. So it's just what aspect of Terence Crawford's game. Now it's a combination, of course, because I would say that Terence Crawford, you could argue he's probably the most overall complete fighter that he'll fight, but he's still going to be smaller. But and plus he's ambidextrous. But it's like, what individual aspect of Bud's game does he bring that Canelo has never seen before? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But it's a combination of things.
There ain't no style Canelo hasn't seen.
Hey, I was just about to pull you up, big dog. I just saw you, bro. Join back, Willie. I just saw you, bro. My bad. Say it again, Kendrick. Sorry, my bad, bro. I cut you
How about an aspect that he's never beaten before, right? Because seeing something is one thing, but beating something is another thing.
Okay. So
right?
Wait, yeah, elaborate.
The most I guess you say skilled, as you say, fighter in the beat ball, right?
Yeah, he lost to Bivol. That's true.
The quicker fighter.
He lost to Floyd.
And a Floyd. You
True.
feel me?
True.
So those are the two top things that Bud has over Canelo. It's those two things.
Okay. I would say,
but
I mean,
with
now
that combination.
I'm okay. So let me ask you this.
And
I'm not trying. I know this is gonna sound bad because the fight didn't last too long, but that's kind of what Caleb planned. But the person I was gonna say right now is Amir Khan. Remember, he was so fast. Now I know Terence Crawford ain't got no chin like Amir Khan now, but it's
he definitely got a better chin than that.
Right. But the point is, like, even still, like, I think it would be like a combination of Caleb Plant being slick and Amir Khan's speed. He was still able to conquer those two different styles. You know what I'm saying? So
and Amir Khan's got faster hands. Than,
that's my point. Right. And that's my point. Right. Yeah. And so even with Floyd, it's like, he didn't beat Floyd, but who's going to be like Floyd? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be like Bivol? That was the point I made. You know what I'm saying? So even though he didn't beat those styles, you can't really implement. And same with Terence Bud Crawford. It's like, I agree with Kendrick. It's like, he's never seen a guy like Terence Crawford, and who could do what Terence Crawford does. That's not something you could just do. So, but I guess my point is, what I'm saying is that, yes, he lost to Bivol and he lost to Floyd. But that's
he
not
lost
just
to
like
Bivol doing what Crawford's doing right now, trying to move up to a weight class he ain't got no business being in most people's opinion.
That part.
Trying to be great.
Exactly. And Bivol is undisputed. He's a Hall of Famer. Floyd Mayweather's a Hall of Fame. These aren't just run-of-the-mill fighters like, okay, bet, I could be a little slick and beat Canelo. I could be a little agile, beat Canelo. I could be a little strong and beat Canelo. Nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's you got to be the slickest. You got to be the quickest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, so I don't know. And same with, 41 people tried, 41 people failed. So he might be 42. If it comes to Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford figured out a lot of people too, like Kendrick said. He fought a whole bunch of different styles too. Errol Spence was supposed to be the bigger, stronger guy that's going to walk him down, and he failed. But I just think Canelo is the bigger, stronger guy.
And the flat-footed thing, you got that high guard and that head movement like Canelo has. You don't have to have good feet.
Right.
When you can block, when you can absorb shots like that and move your head just enough to take it off the punch, you don't have to. You don't got to be quick-footed.
Yep. But Kendrick might come back and say, "Hey, man, all of us might be wrong." You know what I'm saying? He might be right. So I respect that, man.
No, I definitely give Crawford a chance. How am I going to give anybody else in the world a chance and not give Crawford a chance?
That's my point.
Like,
exactly. Exactly. Terence Crawford is that phenomenal. If he thinks that he can win, I believe him. I just that don't mean I'm gonna side with him in every fight, but he's that great, bro. I just can't disrespect great. I mean, same with Usyk. If Usyk thinks he could go in the fight and win, I'm gonna believe him because he's been right he's been right. Same with Floyd. He's been right.
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Is there a date for it yet?
September is a month, not a specific date.
Oh, okay.
He still has to beat William Skull now. Yo, Big Dog Willie in the building. What's good, Willie?
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
loud and clear.
Yeah.
What's popping, man? Appreciate you joining.
Salute to all you guys on the panel, all the young men on the panel.
Hey,
what up, Big Dog?
What's cracking? So you guys about talking about Canelo. Bud has a very good chance. I say 55-45 chance of 45-55 in Canelo's way. But Bud had a really good chance of beating him. I think his athleticism, Bud's athleticism, is like it's kind of that underwhelming. I mean, that kind of sneaky strength he has.
Yep.
and he's a better and believe it or not, Bud's in better condition than Canelo. So
I agree
I
with that
think
too.
it lasted 12 rounds. The only thing is Canelo is a juggernaut.
Come on
He's
now.
big,
Come on
and
now.
and he got a chin too. Canelo has a chin, so if he can walk through Bud's shit, that's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Bud can circle around him. But I mean, Canelo will have to give it like he did with I know this is a terrible example, but Americano beating Canelo's ass or beating him.
Whoa.
Oh no!
I wouldn't
that
say
fight,
beating his ass.
No, Americano was giving it to him.
Watch your mouth now. Hold on now. Hold on now.
I mean, he might not.
Hold on.
Have
I ain't like the way you said that right there, bro. Hold on now.
Yeah.
I ain't like the way you said that right
Yeah,
there.
you
Hold on now. Hold on now.
You made Canelo sound like a bum.
No.
No, we mess with you, bro. We mess with you, bro. Now go ahead. Yeah, you're right. No, you was winning. You're right.
He was outpointing him. I'll give you that.
Khan was tapping him up, and I mean tapping. He was hitting him, but it wasn't really doing anything. But I think Crawford has more power than. No, he don't have the speed, but he has more power, a lot more power than Khan. So if he can stand on the outside and box him, I think that will. But he can't go inside with that dude. Canelo's just too goddamn big. He's stocky.
Yeah,
he's like a NFL running back or something like that. He's just too thick, you know.
Pause.
Hey,
yep,
yo.
You're right though. I agree.
No, did it?
Except for the thick part. No, I'm messing with you. Hey man, no, I wasn't even to take out the hair grease. Let me chill. I was just playing, bro. But no, yeah, I agree. Like I definitely think I have it a little wider, but I'll have it like 665, 35 Canelo's way, something like that. But I think
I'll have it 80. I have it like
80-20.
80-20.
I'm not mad at that. I just think like Bud is like I said, man, he's one of those fighters, bro. He's a legend. I don't know. He's a living legend. Same with Usyk. Same with Anyway. Same with
Who said 80-20? Who said 80-20?
I think Oscar said
that's like Charlo. That's like Charlo's thing. Like Charlo's, like that's not trying. Like Charlo didn't come up there. Like he got hit one time. He's like, I'm good. It's like
hey, Charlo made a career decision. He made a career decision, man.
Question about that because I know we stick with the result of the fight and we think like, well, he didn't try. It's not like I think he didn't try. He got hit one time and he was like, nah, I'm done. I'm cool, bro. I just want my check. But the Charlo had a better chance coming. I know, but
agreed.
Greater, you know.
Agreed. But go ahead, finish your thought. I think I agree. Go ahead though.
Who coming into a fight? Who had the better chance? Charlo at the time. I'm not talking about now. At the time,
hindsight 2020. Yeah.
When the fight was called, or like Bud now. Who do you think will have a better fight?
I think Bud.
I agree. Okay. So now see, Kendrick just messed me up there because I agree with you, Oscar, until Kendrick just said that. I never believed Charlo had a chance as far as just because I didn't think that I didn't think he was going to beat Canelo. No, but what Oscar was saying. But if I understand what Oscar's saying though, but if I understand what Oscar's saying though, let's not act like Jermell Charlo is not undisputed, bro. He's undisputed at 154. Nah, bro, no. On paper, Charlo has a better chance. I agree with Oscar on paper. Now, if we look at the type of fighter, and we look at the the demeanor and how he carries himself and who Terence Crawford is, the mentality, all that. Then of course Terence Crawford. On paper, no. Hell, Jermell Charlo is way more convincing than Bud.
Why? Because he's bigger?
No, bro. What you mean? Just big, bro? The man undisputed, bro. Stop it, bro. Come on, bro. Jermell Charlo is good. Stop it, bro. Come on, bro. Yes. But he okay. No. Bud
has a better boxing IQ. Bud has a better boxing IQ.
Yes.
And he takes more precise shots. I mean,
okay.
So
you
at 154 was just out overpowering people. I mean,
okay. Look what you just said though, Willie. Look what you just said, Big Dog Willie. You said he was overpowering people at 154. What did Terence Crawford just look like at 154 at his debut? Thank you. That's the point right there. Huh?
Well, hold on.
He looked good against Madrimov?
Yes, he did.
Stop it,
because
bro.
what did Madrimov do?
Bro, he looked good. Yes, he looked good.
A whole bunch of fake.
No. Okay, so I'm not saying. Okay, he looked good. Okay, let me rephrase that. He looked good because it was his debut against an undefeated champion at a new weight class. You know what I'm saying? And he's moving up. So he looked good. To me, that's a hell of an accomplishment. but he did not look like he looked at 147 or 140, right? So if you look like you have a harder time with a bigger guy that's at 154, what do we think you gonna look like against a guy that's 3 times bigger than that? Or I'm sorry, two divisions bigger than that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying on paper.
He had a long layoff though too. You have to put that in perspective.
No, I agree. That's just on paper though. I'm just saying on paper because what you just said. You said Jermell Charlo. But look what Willie said. Willie said, I'm gonna let you go, Kendrick. My bad. But Willie said Jermell Charlo looked better because he was overpowering everybody at 154.
At 154,
right.
Better than.
But that's my point though. So why would you? Okay.
Like that, I'm just saying with his mentality. You listen to with his mentality and the way he fights. He's better suited for 154 than fighting Canelo.
Right, I agree. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying on paper. But Terence Crawford,
I think Bud mentality, he will adjust a lot better at once fighting Canelo. Canelo don't have a weight class, but fighting Canelo, and then Charlo fighting Canelo. It's
individually, I hear what you're saying, but Terence Crawford at 154 did not look like he was overpowering. It's only one instance now. The sample pool is way smaller, of course. But Jermell Charlo did that at 154 all the way to undisputed. He looked bigger and stronger. So why would I think that a guy who at 154 who did not look bigger or stronger? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all. I'm not saying that.
Like on paper.
On paper, I agree with Oscar. Okay. Yeah, but you're right. When you talk about like the mentality and the demeanor and the dominance and all that other stuff, then of course I agree. I think Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo. I didn't think Jermell Charlo had it all. But on paper, no, you got to go with Jermell Charlo, bro. In my opinion. Go ahead, Kendrick. Sorry. Go ahead, Kendrick.
I got a 2-part. I think
I appreciate you being patient too. Appreciate you being patient. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. I think what Willie's trying to say was like Charlo, he looked good because he was the bigger guy. That's it. It wasn't because he was more skilled. It wasn't because of that. So it's like the bully meeting somebody who's bigger. You get that bully getting shook now.
Okay.
So he's not the same. He don't
big dog met the bigger dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Big dog met the bigger dog.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of what he was getting at, rather than a Bud. Bud always been. He's been the smaller guy. He's always been moving up, so it's just normal for him to operate in that manner. You get what I'm saying?
I agree. I get it, but when he moved to one, at some time it's gonna stop. I feel like the reason why people think he has no chance, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but the reason that is because at one time at 154, which is 2 weight classes smaller than 168, he didn't look. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked like.
And
go ahead.
And I think the problem with that take is we're looking at it as just from Bud's perspective. Oh, Bud didn't knock him out. That's really what we come to.
No.
Right?
You're right. Yeah. The majority of people. Yeah, I agree. And that's silly. I agree.
But the issue is, it takes 2 to tango. Majimov was not engaging. Bud was walking him down.
Yes, I will say that. But on the flip side,
so if he's walking somebody down at 154, how do you not say that? How do you say that he's struggling? That's what I'm confused.
No, the fight was because the reason why I say it was a struggle because I thought it was a good fight. I thought it could win either way. I'm saying struggle like that. But as far as him walking him down, you don't think that those punches? It didn't like Israel Majimov's punches were affecting Bud to you?
Nope, it was the feints more than the punches.
Okay, I disagree. Maybe I gotta watch it again.
I think he was reacting more on the feint.
Yeah, I disagree with that. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Willie.
You can't say he wasn't.
We can't hear you, bro. Your thing messing up. I can't hear you. It's like
lagging.
Yeah, lagging.
And who got the smoker throw boys, man?
That's crazy. I got to slide pretty soon. I got some family coming in and stuff. I'm gonna let Willie get his point off, and then. But no, that's a good point.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Real quick, I know you have to slide pretty soon.
Yeah. Go ahead, get your point.
Yeah, so I mean, Bud was getting touched up in that Maginot fight. We can't say he wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think that us seeing Bud, like, how many knockouts did he have in a row from 140 to 140 at 147?
11.
A lot, huh?
Yeah, 11.
Like a dozen.
So maybe
11, yeah. 11 or 12, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, we're just not used to seeing him, like, go, 12 rounds with somebody. But, he had a layoff, and, yeah.
Well, I think we're not giving enough credit to Madrimov too. Madrimov
Yeah,
made
facts.
it a tough
Facts.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He was touching him up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I want
we know who the better fighter is.
Right.
Oh,
So yes, right. So let me be clear. I'm not saying that he struggled like, oh, he did. I'm not one of those goofies that think that he didn't win. But my point is that he wasn't as dominant as we're used to seeing him. And while Madrimov is definitely that guy too, I think, and this is no disrespect to Madrimov, I think it's more of the fact that he was not acclimated to that weight, and maybe he can never get acclimated to that weight to that point where he could do to Madrimov or whoever else what he was doing to other guys at 147 like Spence, Porter, Kell Brook. Maybe he's just not able to do that, and that's a testament to his greatness because he found another way to win. It's like MJ when he was dunking on you from the free throw line. Now he's killing you from the fadeaway. You know what I'm saying? A fadeaway at the baseline. So he's gonna switch it up, and he's still gonna find a way to win. However, it's still not as dominant as he was when he was in another situation. Is what I'm saying, or under different circumstances. So I just think that with that being said, the fact that he didn't just smash Madrimov, which I never expected him to do anyway, I'm still impressed by it. I still think he won. I give a lot of credit to Madrimov, but at the same time, I don't want to see Bud versus Janibek. I don't want to see Bud versus if Bud was fighting Janibek, who would you favor? I would favor Janibek, not because I think Janibek is. No, I'd favor Janibek. I'm not saying that because Bud is not good. It's just. Bro, exactly. He's a weight bully. He gonna come. He's
a big dude.
He's a big dude, right? So it's like, why? At some point, it's like, yeah. Go ahead.
He weight bullies himself.
He weight bullies himself, right? He hospitalizes himself. So at some point, it's like, yeah, he's great, but sometimes, hey man, size does matter. You know, even if your lady tells you otherwise. Paul.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
man. I'm heading out, bro, after that. Hey, y'all have a good day, man. Y'all be easy.
Tell him that, bro. What the hell going on now?
Pause. I just think that, man. I like I said, I know y'all disagree, but I would have Janibek, and that's not because Janibek's. I think Janibek is good, and it's not because I think Bud is bad. It's just I think, man, hey, that weight is different. I don't care who you spar with. I've seen pictures of Mikey Garcia sparring with heavyweights. I got it. When you're in that pain going against somebody that's equally as good, and even if you might be slightly better, we talk about two guys at the top of their sport, man, Canelo and Bud, or even if you want to say Janibek, or even who do you have, Caleb Plant or Terence Crawford?
He's not no Canelo. He's not no Bud. He's a big
dude, but
he's not. He's not as skilled those two.
So you would have Janibek. You would have Bud over Janibek?
Skill wise,
no. I'm in a fight. In a fight, I got skill wise. No, ain't nobody touching Bud's skill. Canelo's my favorite fighter, but I got Bud more skill than Canelo. But I think that Canelo does other things better. You know what I'm saying, or has other advantages.
I'll take Bud just because I think Canelo can beat Janibek.
I think Canelo slaughters Janibek. I think he slaughters him.
I think that he will. I think that I said Bud got the best chance coming from a lower weight class of beating Canelo.
I agree with that.
Than anybody else.
Bro, I would take it one step further, Willie. I don't think anybody else. I wouldn't even want to see anybody else. It's a testament to his greatness that I think that this fight is intriguing. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That it's because of Bud. It's not because if it was anybody. I don't care if it was Errol Spence. I don't care what before Bud or whatever. Anybody else at 140 Boots. I don't want to see them against Canelo. Canelo slaughters them. It's a testament to his greatness that this fight is intriguing. So the fact that we even having this conversation is already shows that Bud is great. You know, so that's not even a question for me. But it's just I do think weight classes matter. And I like I said, who was talking about David Benavidez earlier? I think it was my boy Tech, right? I don't want to see David Benavidez slaughter Bud. It had nothing to do with Benavidez being a better fighter than Bud. That's crazy to me. You see what I'm saying? Bro, I know styles make fights, but I don't want to see Caleb Plant versus Bud. I think Caleb Plant beats Bud. I think anybody at 168 that's a serious contender or a champion beats Bud at 168, bro. I'm sorry, I do. I think Pacheco probably beats Bud.
I don't know. But I don't.
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping, bro. Well, I think wait, bro. 168 from 168 to 154 is crazy, bro. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and let's be honest, Canelo's intriguing because he's an undersized one.
Thank I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's no aspect.
Canelo's hella stocky and hella big, and I don't believe that shit. Canelo walks around at 200.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass. He don't work around.
You don't think so?
200.
Oh, I would think so.
You don't on YouTube, bro. There's videos on him, bro.
That dude,
They
man,
live.
he's big.
But I don't think that's a problem.
But
I think
he's wide as all hell.
Yo, Thomas
He's a
Hill,
big
what's good,
dude.
brother? Go ahead.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Who's bigger, Billy or Canelo?
I would say Billy.
Shevchenko, Canelo.
I would say
Pacheco or Canelo?
I would say everybody you just named bigger than Canelo. I would say
everybody. Yeah.
I mean,
Are you talking about height wise or just or I'm talking about like
overall, bro. Overall.
Like mass,
like width of back,
talking about
shoulder
mass.
size.
Yeah.
Like Canelo carries 168 really well for a short, stocky guy.
Yeah.
It makes him look bigger than he really is. When you look at like the width of somebody's back, and like Caleb Plant's back from shoulder to shoulder, way wider than Canelo. Almost everybody he fights is bigger in that sense. The frame is bigger.
Canelo is. I hate to use the word, but he is compact and he's.
Go ahead, say it, bro. You know you love it. Go ahead, say that. Go ahead, say that. Five letter, one syllable word, bro. Go ahead, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Man, I ain't even trying to say it, bro.
Go ahead and say it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You got me shook. I use one word. I'm got me shook.
Thinking that the snicker and the chicken dinner. You know what I'm talking about?
But you got hella people scared. You got hella people scared using the word.
No, we mess with you, bro. That's the joke.
Just in general. Just the whole, you know.
Hey, come on, man. Thinking of the sticker and the chicken dinner, man.
Like
come on, bro. Do you think, man? But no, I just think, and maybe I respect weight classes too much, but you got to show me. I just don't think so, man. I think what Pacquiao did was phenomenal, and that was at lower weights, you know what I'm saying, coming up to what, 152, I believe is his highest, right? 52 catch weight, something like that. And then I just think that's phenomenal. But it's just like, bro, like, these guys, 168, man, and I hear what you're saying too, as far as Bud has a skill, and skills pay the bills. But at the same time, sometimes somebody is just too big, too much bigger. And like Oscar said, they at least have a vertical dimension in common, you know, the height. But they don't have that mass, like you saying, Big Dog Willie. And I think that's gonna matter in the Canelo fight. But I think that would matter in other. Bro, I'll say it like this, and this is how I feel. I think Canelo's the best at 168. I think he's clearly above everybody else, right? I don't think Canelo beats him the worst out of everybody at 168 because I think Canelo's the best. I think stylistically, this is the fight that he could win if he's going to beat anybody. Like I said, I know David Benavidez is at 175, so it's not a good example. But I think if he fought David Benavidez would destroy Bud. And that's not bro, it's just size.
Yeah, he's just too. Yeah,
he's just too big, bro. Yeah, it's just too big. So I'm not saying that. Oh yeah, Canelo's not the best at once. I think he's the best. But just because somebody just because somebody can handle something. Okay, perfect example. Remember when Pacquiao fought Hatton and Floyd fought Hatton? People were like, okay, Pacquiao, because he knocked him out in 2 rounds, he beat him better. I could argue that Floyd Mayweather hit him, chin checking him and making him go head first into a turnbuckle like a Brahma bull at a freaking, what's the thing called? Matador in Spain. I could argue that for Floyd Mayweather's style, that was just as dominant as Pacquiao getting a knockout in the second round.
I mean, it was just a dominant.
It's just a different style. Thank you.
That 2010 Pacquiao was rushing through things.
Right, you feel me? So yeah, so it's just styles make fights. You know, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, you see what Pacquiao did to Hatton, and look, it took Floyd Mayweather 10 rounds. Well, no, they fight differently. So just because the fighter, you could have somebody could match up. Okay, like Lamont Roach. As much as you gonna like this one. I think Lamont Roach gets cooked by Shakur, but I still think Tank beats Shakur. But stylistically, I think Shakur does not. Lamont Roach's style is terrible for Shakur's style. But I still, but that doesn't change the fact that I think that Tank still beats Shakur. I think that Tank and Lamont Roach is a better matchup. But I think Shakur will slaughter Lamont Roach. Stylistically.
I mean, we already know. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about this. We have our different opinions.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But you know, because I'm a Shakur guy, so I'm gonna ride with my guy.
Yeah, do you think? Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Shakur beast.
But you know, I like the sweet science and defensive fighters, and you know, I like those type of fighters. So that's the style that I kind of grew up watching. Sweet Pea and
rest in peace, Sweet Pea, man.
You know, Sweet Pea and even Sugar Ray and those fighters like that have defensive. I mean, Sugar Ray was both, but I mean, just that Sugar Ray was all around. He can't really, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. No, I got you. No, I respect your P. Yeah, slick fighters. Yeah,
slick fighters. Yeah.
I love the difference of opinions because it helps us. At least for me, it makes me think of, like, you know, hear what you're saying and think about what you're saying, Maybe consider things. Shoot, I done had my mind changed plenty of times talking to people in the chat.
But for this climate right now, for people, instant gratification climate, everybody wants to see a knockout, and which is cool. Everybody, I mean, you want to see it, you want to see the excitement, you know. But I grew up. I'm in my 40s, so I grew up, you know, watching, you know, I mean, I watched more of this. It's more skill back in the 80s and 90s than it is not now, because you have to perform.
Yeah.
And you have to make things quick and see a knockout. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's lack of appreciation. There's more appreciation for the skill back then. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah,
so
1,000%.
It's kind of hard to argue with certain people on certain stations and certain channels, because they just want to see Tank does this, Canelo does that. You know, when they were talking about Wilder. I mean, Wilder was fun to watch. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But his skill level was horrible. So
he started late though.
Yeah, but still. I mean,
he said, I'm not hearing that. He said, yeah, but still.
He started late.
He said Tim Duncan was a big fundamental. He started late too. You're right. He started late too. So you're right. It may not be a good excuse.
No, that's not a good excuse at all.
Tim Duncan started late too.
You see, he had that cold right hand, and he was athletic. And the heavyweight division is so watered down right now. Who's the most athletic person in the division?
Right now,
think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably
Right now.
Usyk. Probably Usyk. I don't know. Let me think.
Yeah,
probably Usyk.
that athletic.
Yeah, he's not even that. Yeah, AJ look athletic, but he don't even fight athletic. So,
no, he's a robot. He's just a buff ass dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
He has a nice uppercut. He can box a little bit, but he's not. He can't move his head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, Kendrick, I appreciate you pulling up, man.
All right.
Yes, sir. He said, Thomas Hill said, man, DBT is high time for Tank to shift the narratives, get in the ring with all these guys. Yeah, facts. Whom he cannot box with. Yep. So they will have to change the talk about. I agree. But that's the thing, though. I mean, Kendrick just left, but when I tell him, Kendrick is a big Shakur fan, too. But I always tell him, if anybody beats Tank, it's Shakur. Like, I'm not one of those that I like Tank more, yes. And I think that Tank wins. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that Shakur, I don't get how people don't think that either one of them have a chance. Like, if you're a Shakur fan, I think that if you think that anybody's going to beat Tank, it would be, I mean, if anybody's going to be Shakur, I think you would think it would be Tank has the best chance. And Tank, vice versa. Right, yes. And vice versa. If anybody's going to beat Tank, if Shakur beats Tank and they fight, I'm not going to be surprised or astonished, because I think that if anybody beats him, it's Shakur. And because Shakur is that good. So, yeah, I don't know. I like boxing, so I don't have, like, I'm not living vicariously through these gentlemen. You know what I'm saying?
It's a great style contrast. That's why everybody wants to see them fight. It's a great style. It's, so, I mean, but, like you said, you get people and they're so, what's the word for it? Narrow-minded. Narrow-sighted, I should say. They just see what they see, and they're like, well, that's how you're supposed to box, just like Tank.
Yeah.
Or that's what you're supposed to box, just like Shakur. They see this thing, like, if nobody boxes like their favorite fighter, then they can't win.
Yep. In fact, that's it right there. That's it right there, what you just said. Yep.
I think you're taking it a step too far. I think they just hear what they want to hear.
Yep.
That's part
of it, too.
Yep.
They'd be like,
it's an echo chamber, and you just, it just
straight regurgitation.
That's why people like certain fighters' dads get away with saying certain things, because people just be like, oh well, Bill Haynes telling the truth, and yep, and Schofield, Shakur was trying to poison him. This shit like that. People believe that shit.
Yep. Bum ass.
Why that man had to hop in there and say they rubbed cream on his son?
Crazy.
So casually. Casually too.
Right.
Like,
Pause. Rub cream on your son. What's your son look like having cream wiped on him in the first place?
What's your son doing? First of all, what's your son doing?
Pause. Yeah, you wildin', bro.
Some random woman just came by and
rub the cream on your face. Thomas in the building. What's good? Boss man Thomas.
Barry Bonds said, "What's up, Oscar? What's good with you? Check that.
Man.
Big dog Willie. Hey,
what's cracking?
Like my man Barry Bonds. Remember, he had the clear cream.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
clear. Everybody was on the clear. I forgot about the clear.
Everybody was
Oh
clear, you know what I'm
man.
saying?
He
Oh
rubbed it on his
man.
bald head. That's how it got so big.
Yeah,
I
facts.
will say this, bro. I will say this. Because Canelo and Tank are the two most polarizing figures in boxing,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like it's just them. But every fan base does this stuff, bro.
Thomas, thank you, bro.
Especially if they want to make sure that their people are being recognized. And then
Thank you.
sometimes, in some cases, it's even more. It's just that this dude is so much more into people's
Yes.
faces and stuff like
Yes.
that they apply it, and that's been my biggest thing all along, bro. Remember, in order for them to talk about Devin, it had to be the fact that he was spanking his tail in a what you call what you call that kind of sparring session.
Which one? Oh, when they were,
yeah,
him and Tank, yeah, when they were young.
And they pushed it. Yeah, the doghouse
Doghouse, yeah.
sparring session. You know, the same sparring session that after, because remember, he was affiliated in a line with Mayweather.
Yep.
After he left that sparring session where he didn't touch him, he couldn't lay a hand on him.
Yep.
He did absolutely nothing in there but get his tail whooped. Tank got flown all around the world, taken on cruises, and then was eventually signed.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do. And then they go and build channels about tearing down certain fighters. And this is the narrative, man. I'm more, like you said, man, I'm more so than anything. Don't want to see no Canelo versus anybody unless it's Benavidez. In that fight,
Bro.
I still believe Canelo is going to win that fight.
Thomas, thank you, bro.
But
I want to
wanna
see it. Yes, bro. I'm a Canelo for it. Canelo, Tank, and Junto Nakatani. Those are probably my three. If I had to pick three fighters or my favorite, probably be those three. You know, I want to see Canelo versus Benavidez. I like Benavidez too. I don't feel compelled to pick a side. Like, I like Canelo more. I think Canelo is a better fighter. That's why I want to see him beat him. Like, but I like Dave Benavidez too. If he wins, kudos to him. You see what I'm saying? If Shakur beats Tank, kudos to Shakur. I'm wrong or whatever. You know, I just give my opinion and who I like. I can't help who I like more, but I don't have to shit on the other fighters. I don't have to demonize the other fighters. It's crazy.
And that's true fandom. You can rock with a person, but still cheer for other folks and believe what they believe.
Right.
Just because I don't like Haney, don't mean that or I do like Haney, don't mean that what I saw in the ring with Ryan took place. It took place, but what I did see was round 2 through 6. Haney controlled the fight.
Right.
Yep.
So what changed in that whole fight? The only thing that changed was the thing that they segued to right before they was going to come out while the other fight before them was playing. You know how they always cycle back to like them getting ready for their fight coming up? In that segue, you saw Derek James working on him with one thing, timing the jab. And what was he timing the jab with? The check left hook. Once he measured it and metered the pace and beat it, that changed the whole fight. Because at that point in time, there was no contingency plan for Haney. Now,
That's that bow and arrow jab. That's that bow and arrow
Tech was talking about that. Tech was talking about that. Hey, but fellas, man, I apologize, man. I gotta go slide, man. I gotta go take care of this stuff. Oh, my family stuff. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up, though, man.
I just came in to say shout out to everybody, man. Hey, and realize that everybody got its exactions fans, and some more so than others.
Yes.
Just some
Yes.
are more in the spotlight than others, so it only sems worse.
Yep.
It's just all over the place.
Yep. Just mod you up too, Thomas. What's good? What's good, Oscar?
I call it man fanning. I ain't no fan of no man, dog.
Man, like a little kid believing in their superhero.
Yeah,
their favorite
facts.
professional wrestler.
Yeah, they be trying to live vicariously through 'em.
Fights over fighters, man.
Yep. Fights over
fighters.
I like
Just
that.
make the fights.
I like that.
Just
What
make
you
the fights.
What you were saying, Oscar?
Yes,
Sorry,
man.
bro.
That battle rap. Check out that rap.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to finish it, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try to finish it.
Are you gonna be on later on, Doctor?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on later on. Good Lord willing. Like I said, I got my family here, and trying to arrange, make the funeral arrangements and stuff like that. But I'm gonna try to be on. Yes, sir. I should be on by 8 p.m.
All right,
Eastern
good
time.
show, fellas.
Hey man, appreciate y'all joining the panel, man. Yes, sir.
Hey man, thank you for letting us come up.
Already, man. Anytime. God bless y'all. Yes, sir, man. Shout out to the panel, man. Big Dog Willie pulling up. Thomas, Kendrick, Oscar, Clone, Take Them Dad. Did I miss anybody? If I did, I apologize. I think I said everybody. Oscar, Big Dog Willie, Tech, Kendrick, Clone, Thomas. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody coming through, man. Had some good boxing conversations. Appreciate everybody joining the channel as well, man. In the super chat and in the regular chat as well. You feel me? Talking about this good old boxing, man. That's what we want to do, and bring back boxing. Talk about it from all different angles, man. There's nothing wrong with liking a certain fighter or disliking another fighter, but let's just keep it boxing, man. Sometimes we be tearing down the fighters unceremoniously and and ridiculously, and I don't know, too much, man. Just overall too much, man. We do it too much, man. So shout out to everybody pulling up. I appreciate it, man. Let's hit the super chat. We got a lot of love from the folks, man. Shout out to my boy Oscar dropping the $20 on the chat with that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
So shout out to Oscar for dropping $20 on the chat, man. Shout out to Oscar for dropping another $20 on the chat, coming through like a boss. Yes, sir. The big $20 get that special drop, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Clone with the $10 on the $10 on the super chat. Shout out to Oscar for another $10. Shout out to Take Them Dad with the gifted membership. Shout out to James Daly with the $5. You know what I'm saying? Big Australia money. We getting that international money, y'all. We going and growing. Yes, sir. Shout out to Take Them Dad with another gifted membership. Appreciate that. Shout out to Clone with the re-up on the membership, man. He renewed his membership. Shout out to him for 8 months going strong, man, at the Bachelor level 2. Shout out to Oscar for the $2. Shout out to Big Dog Willie for the $2. Shout out to all the love I get, man. Really do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? God is good. We're going to try to be back on for the late show. Like I said, those of you that know, my grandma passed away last week, so I'm dealing with a lot of getting the funeral arrangements together, family coming in, flying in. We try and take care of them, and you know what I'm saying, and make sure we have the church and everything situated, and I'm doing the programs and all this stuff, and you know what I'm saying. So just make sure everything's copacetic. So I appreciate y'all and y'all understanding. I apologize for not being having the shows as frequently as I used to do, you know, Monday through Friday, two shows a day. You know how we get it in, but the hustle, we still get the hustle off the muscle. It's just I'm a little busy right now, but I'm gonna try to get in when I have a set amount of time that I could dedicate to streaming. Then I'm gonna be on there. You know, I'm gonna be on the live. Trust me, I miss y'all just as much, if not more so, than y'all miss me. So you know, I appreciate y'all for real, man. The love is crazy, man, for real. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to turn on notifications as well, because I have been dropping videos throughout. So yes, sir. So we ain't never been lazy. You know what I'm talking about? Can't do that. But yeah, don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.